Live from Wuhan, China. It's
Okay.
Super Gamecast 2. It's
Okay.
Super Gamecast 2.
God damn it.
Oh god, I
Ah.
accidentally created an audio loop. Oh hey, one of our boys from. Good morning, Quinn. Good morning, Unspoken. Glad that you joined us from the Mario Kart stuff last night. I'm gonna remove our starting now screen. There
Hope
we
everyone had
go.
fun.
Hey, so I'm sure everyone's noticed we have a special guest on tonight, a Mr. Jake James Lugo.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, man.
That's all good. Thank you for having me. Hope everybody in the chat is doing all well. It's having a chill Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, Sunday evening, wherever you're at.
Yeah, man. So whenever we have a guest on, which you are the second, I kind of want to profile some of the stuff they've done. I know currently you run an independent YouTube, and I look through your background and I see a little bit of IGN, a little bit of a lot of Coalition, a little bit of yeah, a little bit of Real Otaku Gamer, which that means you know Andre.
hmm
You
I
know,
actually was one of Andre's first, like I guess team members or whatnot. I was the community manager, and then ended up being like a senior editor over there for a good number of years. I think a good while. Like it
oh,
was like
okay,
years.
right.
It was a good while that I was there before I went to another website, and then I eventually went to the Coalition. But there's more, believe it or not. I'll tell you more, but there's a lot of stuff.
Okay, yeah, because right on. So I met Andre through going to different PAXs early on at Aaron and I's previous employer, which I actually think you know our boss there, because
Hmm.
he is a mutual friend on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because again,
Uh,
a lot of us down here that go to the con scene, in South Florida and stuff, we know each other. We've attended similar events from time to time.
yeah. All right, yeah. So why don't you run down through your full background, because the people want to know.
Yeah,
Um,
again, like I said, there is a lot. There's a ridiculous amount. Now, as you mentioned before, for about 7 or so years, I was over at the Coalition. I was a senior editor over there for a while. I started off as an associate editor, became a senior editor, and I did a ton of stuff, in the games industry, writing about video games, talking about video games on podcasts, talking about video games on videos, making my own videos. I did freelance for IGN. I wrote wiki guides and did video stuff and reviewing some other stuff for IGN as well. One thing I don't know if you knew, but I also did some stuff for Playboy Gaming. I wrote a couple of features over there, which is
Nice.
pretty
you
random and wild.
you need to put
But
that on every resume you send
I
out.
did, I did. I have. But
Good.
besides that, obviously, Real Taco Gamer, like you mentioned, there was another website too that I was a part of called Shifted to You, which is no longer functioning anymore. It's been defunct for years.
Hmm.
And again, obviously, YouTube and Twitch and social media. Again, as of January, I hit my decade mark for being part of video games or in within the games industry, the gaming space, the greater gaming community. Doing things out here because I just love the conversation about video games. I love the conversation about them as an art
So
form, as a fan and all this other stuff.
we got a couple comments tonight,
Nice.
bro. It's 9:30 in the morning. Well, it's 10:30 where
Oh,
we are.
we got people watching from the UK,
Got some
man. You don't
international
know.
peeps.
Yeah, we got people from the freaking Netherlands that have come on here.
You
So
having
Yeah.
breakfast and people over there having dinner, ending their day, man.
yeah, and then Playboy does gaming since when? Question mark.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you the story. But it's very short because the guy that now works at GameSpot. I almost said GameSpot Universe specifically is Mike Rodu, and he used to be the head editor over there for Playboy Gaming. And they wanted to get into gaming content from different writers, different editors and stuff. Besides the models that do stuff for Playboy, like some of the models that were there was like Pamela Horton, Andre Renee did some stuff, and a few others that you might recognize. But after some time, they weren't really doing as much, and I guess that they weren't going in the direction that they wanted to go, so they ended up killing it off. But I was able to get at least 3 pieces out there published on Playboy's website. For some time, I talked about Batman games. I talked about games that were kind of inspire you to do like fitness and stuff, and a few other things as well.
Nice.
Two roomie stream. That is my roomie Stephanie. This is my first time being able to tune in. Special woo. I feel special as fuck.
Yeah.
Um,
You should.
you should.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Like, I really want to hear your perspective on a lot of stuff because, um, outside of some freelancing for Destructoid and another outlet. I was at the same place for almost a decade. It basically went. YouTube, same place for 9 years, 8 years, and then this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's interesting or different. So yeah, you had ROG shifted to you, Playboy, IGN. So are you fully independent now, or are you still doing?
Right now, as of November last year into December, now I'm fully independent on YouTube. This is why, I've been trying to get myself out there because I want to blow up my YouTube, obviously my Patreon and all my other stuff, because I feel like, outside of the stuff that I've done at the coalition, I did a lot over there for a long time. Again, about 7 years worth of stuff that was pretty significant for them there, and other people as well. I want to be able to do more, and the tough, difficult aspect about it is it's a whole chicken and egg scenario, because in order to do a lot of the bigger things that you want to do and some of the cooler things you want to do, you have to have a large following. But in order to get the large following, you have to do significant and interesting, big things in some way. So it's like a constant loop going back and forth. So for now, I'm independent and I'm on my YouTube channel constantly, like every week, uploading new videos and even other supplemental videos from time to time.
Yeah, because I started noticing your stuff this year really heavily, because I've obviously being in a similar circle on Twitter and Facebook, and I just see your stuff occasionally, but this year I've been seeing it a lot more, and I started to watch some of it. Especially I started watching with that Persona 4 Arena video you
Nice.
did, because
Thank you.
big fighting game fan, big fighting game channel. This is kind of because our sub badge, half of it is a fight stick. So I started watching that, and then I watched your recent top fighting game series video.
Yes.
I like that. I disagree on Soul Calibur, but hey. But so I watched that. That was really good. So, are you big in the FGC, or do you just enjoy fighting games casually, or what's the deal
I
there?
wish I was. I wish I was, because I've had interviews with and conversations with some significant people in the FGC, and some of which that didn't happen but came this close to happening. One of my biggest ones was with Justin Wong, that I did a full exclusive interview with Justin Wong for the coalition, and we talked about a bunch of stuff when he was with that other esports team a while back. And I don't remember if he still is now, but I know that when he had just joined it, I had him on the show. And we were talking about a lot of stuff, and I don't think a lot of FGC cats really actually listened in on it, because he was dropping some nuggets of wisdom. We had a fantastic conversation. And there's been others as well that I talked to over time in different places. And I even tried at some point to try to get other FGC like notable personalities on my different shows and just talking with me to give content to the people. And sometimes things just either wouldn't work out or they were just too busy. So a couple times, believe it or not, as crazy as it might sound, I actually got turned down because some of them were very disrespectful, like very like not cool.
That doesn't surprise me.
Let me tell you this, like, I don't know if I could say who, but maybe I'll tell you guys later, but like, I'm pretty sure most sound common sense people would know. There was one personality that tried to tell me that what I was doing was a waste of time, when I wanted to bring them on my show to talk about building communities, like, because I figured it would be a good conversation. And it was just funny enough how that came up like that with someone, of that particular, individual. But I've tried because I love fighting games, even though I don't compete like that in different tournaments. I've been to Evo. I actually went to Evo East in 2007, and I've talked with a bunch of different people at various different events. So I love that crowd with the conversation of being part of that like scene, every once in a while. But again, I just haven't really been discovered by them despite the different stuff I've done.
Yeah, and that's so weird that like you would have that experience, because that community needs anything it can to grow, because it is so niche. Like it is like, you go to Evo and you wouldn't think it, right? Like,
Yeah.
this big, huge Vegas ballroom, and
It's a big spectacle.
yeah,
overall.
like, but like you go to like our locals is like 25 dudes.
I've hosted events down here at various like conventions and stuff, and I've been a part of it. Like that, one of the things I haven't really done, and I've been trying to encourage a lot of local South Florida scenes to try to get me to do, is to be on commentary on streams. Because one of the things is, even though I'm not super, super well versed in every single fighting game out there, but I do have a lot of fun with the chat. That's one thing. Like if anybody has seen me stream before, I just tend to goof on everybody, and it's fun to goof on stuff when you're having a good time and everybody's in on the jokes and stuff. And the fighting game community, they love their jokes and they love their inside humor. humor. They love that different type of stuff. I think the problem is not just with the fighting game community, this could be applied to all gaming communities and stuff, is that the majority of people, especially some that are the higher profile personalities, tend to be very conservative, that they don't have the open mind to branch off to introduce other people from various different avenues or very different corners of the internet or YouTube and stuff. And with the fighting game community specifically, that's mostly due because a lot of the time they have this bad impression that they get from other people that have reported on them and haven't really given the full story, which sucks.
Yeah, because like because there's this weird struggle in the FGC of like trying to keep arcade culture, but wanting to grow at the same time, but also
it's hypocritical.
But also knowing like, in a lot of ways, esports and big business can delude what that community is a lot of the time, and they're trying to avoid that. But also like it's all these conflicting things going at each other, and it's.
You want to know what the problem is with that, though? It's more because the larger crowd, at least the people that are the most vocal, because it's not really the larger crowd. I think that a lot of the people that feel maybe differently probably don't speak up because they still want to be part of that scene. They still want to be part of the in crowd, is that they don't know what they want. They want the freedom to express themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. They want the ability to be authentic, which is really at the heart of the issue, because they feel that when the money and the opportunities start coming in, you have to start adjusting and changing things up. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose that authenticity and that you're going to lose that personality the FGC has, any game community whatsoever. The problem is that a lot of the larger personalities that have the bigger voices that people listen to, when they start talking about esports or the idea of competitive gaming really becoming profitable for the scene, not just a few individuals, but the scene itself, they have this idea is like, oh, they're just going to change and that they don't want things to change. And they tell people that, and then people just run with it without knowing the full story or really understanding the full complicated matter that this is. Because let's be real. Oh, I was going to say. I was going to say, like, let's be real. Like, when a company comes in, they're going to give you money. You have to be able to play ball with them. They're not just going to give you free money like that, which is what I think is the bad impression that people on the outside or people even within the FGC on the outside looking into this stuff really take that in. And that's not always the case. You have to be able to compromise. You have to be able to play ball and work with people in order to make things grow.
So we have a comment in the chat. Unspoken wants to know what your Twitch is, if you have one.
I do, and here's funny thing is, I streamed a lot on Twitch, and I was streaming for hours on end with nobody watching. So hopefully you guys and everybody out there could spread word, and we could change that. But it's twitch.tv/gamerswithgains.
Okay, so we can actually afterwards, if you want to talk shop on how to grow on Twitch, let me. I'll let you know because
sure.
There's some good resources that we've been using that have helped us grow quite a bit, and
it just sucks because I love Twitch and I love streaming, like doing stuff like this, even when I'm just playing games, because I streamed a lot. There used to be a point where I was streaming every single day. But when you're streaming every single day and you're streaming sometimes for 3, maybe 4 hours and nobody's watching, that does a lot on somebody's, not only their morality, or not morality, their what is it? Their I forgot the word. Like their enthusiasm to do it, their psyche, but also their mental health, because it's like, oh, I'm putting all this work in. And like nobody cares, and it's not even like I'm trying to play the same games that everybody else is playing. I'm trying to be and do me, and try to express myself. But there's a lot of other factors.
So one thing that I did very early on is I actually would tape a little piece of paper or like scroll the page up so I couldn't see the view counter for a little bit. So I'm just don't look at it, dude. You're not gonna.
I have to. It's just in my nature. I've tried to stop me from doing it, and I have to do it because I want to make sure that I'm interacting with the chat. That's really my thing.
Well, all right. So, Real Neon Outlaw says he dropped you a follow.
Thank you.
And then, and Unspoken says, do you like Mario Kart?
Of course, I've played tons of Mario Kart, man. Like not just Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because I don't have it on Switch as of yet. I've always wanted to get more games like that or other games to play with, either with streaming, just playing with other people, or just have a game night for people that were fans of my YouTube channel. And most of the time, I just end up playing by myself. But I love Mario Kart 64. I love Mario Kart Double Dash. I love Mario Kart on Super Nintendo.
We'll have to have you on during the next community night.
Mario Kart was actually fairly successful.
Yeah, nice. It was a good night. Cart Bale says he's one of our European followers. Says good evening, guys.
Hey, good evening.
See.
Hope he's got a glass of wine and a nice, good dinner, a little hors d'oeuvres. Like he's being all fancy and stuff.
Yeah. So Because one thing I definitely think you can leverage to grow on Twitch is you obviously post to YouTube a lot, which is perfect to promote a Twitch because that's actually a hurdle Aaron and I ran to early and we're still running into is we don't have a lot of YouTube content besides the VOD and highlights. So for us, we don't have a lot of evergreen content out there besides my rampant shit posting.
Here's the crazy thing, though, that I learned when I was at E3 one time. And the thing is that what's weird about this, again, I'm getting this secondhand, is that because someone says nobody could really agree upon it because nobody's really talking. Like at least the people like YouTube and Twitch and stuff. Putting the VODs from your Twitch streams onto YouTube messes up your channel for the algorithm because obviously they're competitors. From what it was explained to me, is like when you do that, all of a sudden like they really put you down on the totem pole, and that sucks because it's like you're giving them content on both platforms. It's like why?
So yeah, we've definitely noticed that because you want to know what's way more successful on our YouTube for us is when I go in and I cut off like a highlight or a segment,
and then you put it as a new video afterwards. That's what people do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when we had that best animated Netflix and chill to conversation. That one went real big. Unspoken. If you scroll up in the chat, Aaron posted that already.
Yeah, it's right up there.
And how you doing, Cart man? Mr. Cart Bale. I know it's nice and late for you. You usually stream right after us.
Cart Bale.
So, yeah. All right, man. All right, well that's cool. So I want to give you a moment. Throw out what it is that you're doing right now. Your YouTube, your Twitter. I want you to shill as hard as you can.
I'm gonna shill so damn much. Like there's so much I can shill because again, I do a lot in general, and I encourage everybody in the chat, you guys of course as well, and anybody else that sees this, show some love, show some support for what I do. I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/gamerswithgains channel, or you could just search Jake James Lugo in the search bar. You'll see a picture of me wearing glasses. That's where I put most of my stuff now. As again, someone independent from a larger website. I do videos every single week. Like I do reviews, I do podcast interviews, I do event coverage. Next week, or this coming week now, I should say, is going to be my review of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, which I just finished literally yesterday.
Nice.
Like that. I've done tons of other reviews on series. One of my biggest collabs I did recently was on the Mortal Kombat games. I did the Mortal Kombat original trilogy arcade games, and then I did the sequel trilogy for the PS2 3D games. I did stuff with Tybonk 99 on that. Besides YouTube, again, there's a ton there. Just go check it out. There's a lot of stuff. There's JRPGs, there's action games, fighting games, puzzle games, a whole bunch of stuff that you guys will love. But I'm also on Twitter. Twitter.com/JakeJamesLugo. I'm on there every day. I share stuff every day, share all my videos, share all my content, share all the types of projects I want to do. I try to interact with other people, get, ideas, concepts, thoughts about my videos and other content, gaming news, whatever. I'm on Twitch, obviously, like I mentioned, twitch.tv/gamerswithgains. I'm also on Patreon. I'm trying to get my Patreon out there a little more because I want to be able to do bigger things, like to get better equipment and stuff. So I always tell everybody, listen, for $1 that you spend on a Patreon like that, you get a ridiculous amount of content from me, including exclusive podcast episodes, exclusive videos, early access to my reviews, a whole bunch of stuff. And then obviously there's other tiers for other people all the way up to, I think it's like $50 or $60 where people could choose the review they want me to do. So I could use that to go get the game for the channel. But there's a bunch of stuff on there that, again, I highly encourage you guys to check it out. If you want to support a small creator, someone that actually wants to put a lot of positivity into the gaming community and just stuff in general, check out my stuff. Show some love. I'm out here.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So Cartwheel is from Belgium, and once this stream is done, guys, go check out his stream. He does some good stuff. I've watched his Death Stranding stream on a couple different occasions. He's a nice guy to chat with, especially if you like talking tech. Dude is mad smart. And Aaron, thank you for linking Mr. Jake James Lugo's Patreon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Of course.
All right, so we have someone trolling in the chat, but
Ace Platinum has some
trolling
thoughts here.
He has some things to
Let's
say.
see the chat. Tell me. Let's troll him right back.
No. Yeah, here, hang on. So, all right. So, yeah, go ahead, Bronson.
He says-
Read this out.
He says, hello, guys. Hold on, my second monitor freaked out for a sec. All right, hello, guys. I have some fun things to tell you. I've got some guesses for your names, ages, and jobs. Top left is Stuart.
Wait, because I can't see because you guys got.
I'm top left.
So he's top left. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Stuart is 39. He works 2 jobs, one as a comic book store manager, and the other as a professional farter.
Hey.
You're a comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Bottom left is Samuel, Stuart's cousin. Aaron were apparently related, even though we look nothing alike.
You know.
He is 26, and he works as a brothel manager.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm psyched.
You're
All
a
right.
pimp.
And bottom right is Adam, 24, and he works as a cigarette salesman.
Oh my god! Why do I gotta get the worst job? I mean,
Hey, man,
I'll
that
give
makes
it to you for
money.
Adam.
That
I'll
makes
give it to you
money.
for Adam, but there's no money in the world that's worth selling cigarettes and stuff. But at least I got a cool name, Adam.
Okay.
Got Adam.
Yep. All right. So.
Don't worry, two roomies. I got you covered. Just contact
says,
me after this.
Stephanie says, I would like to procure some ladies.
I'll hook you up.
That makes it sound like it's like trafficking, not a brothel.
No,
That's
we're not leaving this
just it.
establishment. We're keeping this legal.
And the real Neon Outlaw says, who's this clown?
I love this. No, I think this is great. Thank you, Ace Platinum. I appreciate you thinking I'm 26. That's wonderful.
There you go. All right, that was funny. All right, so also Ace Platinum, if you like what you see, this comic book store manager, brothel manager, and cigarette salesman, please come on, give us a follow.
We love that stuff. That's great.
I mean, we got rickrolled last night. That was
Rick-
Yeah, that was great. Someone just jumped into our Discord because we just throw that out and just started playing music. So great, whatever.
That's funny.
What are your favorite? Mondo cool. I also was wondering.
Yes.
I also wondered what are your favorite fast food, and so there's like type of the guys who enjoy lots of it. Aaron, is that a crack at your health and me being fat?
I mean,
Dang.
it is. Yes. And there was a time when I absolutely like soda. I would go through 6 sodas in a day at the very
Yeah, that's
least.
a lot.
It's a lot. It was a bad time for me.
Yeah.
Really wrecked my teeth. So that might be what he's drawing from.
Yeah, no, I definitely, yeah, no, there was definitely a point in my life where I ate a lot more fast food than I do now, thankfully. And
When you're young and invincible.
yeah, when you're young and your stomach can handle it.
And you're near a Five Guys. Because it always happens when you're near a fast food joint that you end up eating fast food.
So
Yeah, that's how it usually starts.
Yeah, so I live around the corner from a burger place named Juicy's. And this is the best hamburger place I've ever been to. Like it is leaps and bounds above every other burger place.
This is not the first time you've promoted Juicy's on this podcast.
Yeah,
It doesn't even sound like a burger joint. It sounds much more suspect than that. It's like juicy. It's like smash burger. Like when you say smash burger, smash burger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me tell you, when I first he said, "Oh guys, I just said that as a throwaway comment." Sorry,
No,
it
you're
came off
good.
as a dig.
That's right. My brothel is called Juicy's. Turns out that was just a wild coincidence.
It's like Cheeseburger Eddie. It's just like I got burgers. I got burgers.
Then see that sounds wrong.
I'm 13 and my stomach can handle grease. It sucks. Oh, that is a burger brothel. Nice.
There's good food beyond burgers.
I do call Juicy's my cheeseburger church.
Sure.
I don't know about cheeseburger church, but that sounds good though.
Yeah, no. But they're more of a sit down place though, because like they don't have a drive through,
It's more like a diner. Than anything else.
Yeah, it's more like a greasy diner.
Okay.
So we had a comment from Steph saying, I mean, Mustang Ranch is also a 5-star food establishment. Once upon a time. Okay, no, Quinn. I'm Stuart, according to this gentleman. By the way, my actual name is Bronson. Samuel is Aaron. Adam is Mr. Jake James. We're making game podcasts in his basement, and we did energy drink and snack tests. I was the guinea pig.
Oh man, I remember we stayed up all night playing. I think it was like Halo Reach or something, and I just drank a red line to get through it. and that was a hell of a
Just
time.
powered through it, just like downed it.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to like go half and half. Like you do that
You
thing
went
where
the
it's like you're supposed to
full
wait
thing.
like a couple hours before you feel like the effects of the drink, and I was just like, I don't feel anything after half an hour. And
He
then
takes it and he's starting to feel like a Super Saiyan as he's playing.
I remember
it was a great kick, and then I felt like shit, like 6 a.m. Oh,
I remember
That crash.
when we had Quinn try a red line on the first ever podcast I did in my old basement, way back in 2008. Like you could see it physically affect him as the show went on because like his foot's tapping and he's just like more frantic and whatnot. Like
God.
yeah. So hold on. 5 shot. All right. So, what sucks worse from Unspoken? Everyone assume is that because I'm fat, everyone assumes I throw down on fast food. Yeah, dude, I get that. Dude, I get that as well. 6 shows a day is something I could do, haha. But I choose not to because it would kill and drain me. Oh
Well,
yeah, dude. Like if I was back doing what I was doing back in the day, like college especially, like I remember when I worked over at AT&T right after college. That was my day job at the time. I would drink like at least like a liter of Mountain Dew a day, because I needed to stay up because I was pulling those like 10-hour shifts every day. Let's
Sure.
see. Are you guys fans of the TV show Survivor? It's my favorite show. No.
No, hard, nope.
All right, so I have 630 channel points, says Stephanie. Cool, we're gonna think of rewards for that eventually. So
all right.
I want to get us back on topic. So all right, so James, Mr. James Jake Lugo, God, I'm gonna
James.
I'm gonna butcher this a million times. I swear to God.
You don't know how many times my name has been butchered by so many people. Like the weirdest way. I got called Jack James one time, Jacob James,
Nice,
James Jake, Jameson, Jamerson. I'm like, what the heck? This is Spider-Man. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God.
So so this next segment we do what have we been playing, what have we been up to this past week. Hey Aaron, you play anything new?
No, I threw in Pokemon, the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX thing that came out, and I tried to get that going, and then our stream just went to hell because that was the beginning of the Twitch XSplit trouble, and then that was also when I was beginning to become sick and started that like low key wondering, is this coronavirus? Is this...
You work as a janitor, so
And I'm a janitor, so like my job doesn't end, and it's a small business, so like one person leaves and everyone's schedule changes, so there's pressure to keep going. So anyway, so I didn't get a chance to check that out. But let's see, what did we do Thursday? Were you there for that? We played Sonic Adventure because I left it to the fans.
Yeah, because I came into the chat midway through and talked a whole lot of shit.
Yes,
about Sonic Adventure.
We went in Thursday just looking to play whatever, and someone said, "Hey, you played Sonic Adventure. You want to play more of that?" I said, "No, but let's do it." And
that's hilarious. It's like, absolutely not. No, I'm in. Let's go.
I know. Because I like Sonic. I have a nostalgic love for Sonic. That game is trash. Oh man,
it's overhyped. That game, that whole series, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, is overhyped because the problem is that they're products of their time. If those were remade now with a lot of like stuff fixed up, kind of like what they did with Sonic Mania, where they took 2D Sonic and really kind of like honed it and made it really good in different ways, I think it could work for Sonic Adventure. They just got to remake those games.
If you did it like Sonic Generation style or something like that, or Sonic Mania, there's stuff that can be done to do that, to fix that up. But it's just that right in that gap between PS1 and PS2 era, graphics and gameplay, they were still figuring things out. They just had mouths move to indicate that they were talking. Who knows, what they were saying. If Robotnik was carrying a Chaos Emerald, they hovered differently from each other because who cares about something actually being in their hand or not? You're just lucky that the game's playing. The audio levels were not syncing at all, so they would just be playing Crush 40 over whatever the hell people were talking about, and I didn't mind that so much.
Well, because you got to listen to Crush 40. You
got to listen to Crush 40.
Oh, the butt rock.
So good. And it's weird. That is a weird game. So I played a bit of that. And then I just haven't had time for much else. I got sick in the middle of the week, so I was like, coming home from work and then sleeping for hours. And then let's see. So then I downloaded Call of Duty Warzone, the new Battle Royale mode that you can get for free. It's like 100 goddamn gigs.
It's also like 150 players.
Also 150 players. But if you're going to team up with 3, that seems all right. So I'm really excited to try that out. Hopefully we get a chance to try that out maybe on stream someday.
All right, so Ace Platinum says, "What's in the dungeon? Does it remain a mystery?" And you're a janitor at a brothel, winky face. And the rest of this conversation has gotten too lewd.
Oh no! What are we doing?
I'm just gonna let. I'll read one comment. And let's see. To make a question appropriate to coronavirus, what are your favorite types of beers?
Hey, so funny thing. My favorite type of beer just got put out again for the Sonic Adventure stream last week, which is a Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. They only release it during spring, summer months, and at the turn of the fall equinox when the time went forward and all that. They released it. It is a 4.3% alcohol content, and it is just a light beer with lemonade kind of taste. So good.
I agree with Quinn. The beer that tastes like root beer. I believe that's called Not Your Father's Root Beer. Yeah, I agree with that.
Sure.
I have a couple different ones. I mean, I like obviously Blue Moon. Again, a lot of simple beers that you can easily get. You could put with other stuff. There's this Asian one that you usually find at a lot of Asian restaurants or buffets. I forgot the name of it. It starts with a K though, but it's just some Asian beer that I could get every once in a while when I go to a place like that. And then there's also one called Belican, which is actually a Belizean beer that's actually really nice that I've had when I actually went to Belize. It's really, really good.
Okay.
Right on. I'm actually not a beer guy myself. I agree. I agree with Real Outlaw in the chat. I don't normally do beer. I do rum and Coke if I do drink.
Sure, man. Nice. I can't do a lot a liquor.
Oh,
I've had some stories at E3,
man. You can't do breakfast shots like Lexi.
No, I can't. And she needs to take care of her health. I'm glad she's getting the views, but man.
Cart says, as a Belgian, I'm offended.
I bet. Oh,
I
don't want to. I have an idea about what Lexi's doing.
If you want to fly me out and expose me to some beer that I would like, by all means.
Hey, man, grab some waffles on the way in.
Yeah, there you go. Get some waffles.
Okay. I like waffles.
We got a bunch of craft beers here in Seattle, so next time you come up here, we'll go ahead and do some taste testing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. So takes sound off. How much to get sloshed, my guys? At my current weight? Oh fuck.
I have a high tolerance, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I have the low tolerance. I'm the one that gets fucked up real fast. But the problem is I also get sick real fast. So the fun portion is
the way to build that up is that you have to eat stuff while you're drinking.
Right.
That's how you build up the tolerance over time.
Yeah.
Or you just get big.
Or you just sure.
No, I would probably say, judging off of the last time I drank heavily, which was E3 2015, that heavily, and I would probably say 15 shots over 2 hours is the what my body can handle. Well, dude, at the time I was 300 pounds.
You're big. Yeah.
You gotta think it takes a while to get that much through that system.
I know, but when you say 15 shots, in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, Stephanie did 10 in an hour once.
Ugh.
So,
guys, God damn it.
Let's see. We got a couple comments. Also, that meadery I mentioned a few streams ago that's in downtown Reno has amazing PB&J mead.
PB&J, wow.
And then, despite my family being professional alcoholics with tolerance of dwarves, I'm the lightest of the lightweight of my bloodline. And then Stephanie wants to tell the time that we nearly poisoned her. Stephanie, we'll do that at the end of the stream. So just remind me and I'll bring it up. So anyway, we got
so that was all that I played.
Okay, so I'll branch off from Warzone because I did put I put some time into that. I only got like 2 matches. Yes, it's my fault. You nearly died. I know. Okay. Anyway, you know, to be fair, it's Aaron's fault he nearly died as well. So
Yeah,
we've told that story before, though.
we've told that multiple times.
So what ends up happening is I played Warzone. I did about 2-3 matches. It's a very standard 3-person team battle royale.
Sure.
But with COD weapons, the shooting feels real good. Though there's one difference that I love, and it's when you die, you go to this thing called the Gulag.
Okay.
And if you get put on a one-on-one fight with a random weapon, and if you win, you get revived.
Sure.
And
Okay.
you get your freedom.
Interesting.
And also just the map is like ridiculously huge. I'm not sure if it's gonna overtake Apex for my favorite battle royale, but like holy shit, I had in those 2 matches, I had a great time even when I died.
No, so I was reading a little information thing on the website while it was downloading. But I haven't played it yet, so you'll have to verify for me. It said if you are in the gulag and you like lose, I guess, you can like throw rocks at other players that are in the gulag.
Yes, like you can spectate that way.
You can spectate, but it says you're throwing rocks. Do you know?
That is kind of funny.
You know what that's about?
As far as I know, like no, because I was like I revived because I won my match in the gulag, and then I died again, and then someone tried to revive me, and he got killed.
Right.
So yeah. Like,
Okay.
I didn't.
I may have to explore that later.
Unspoken says I'm so happy. I just put a smart plug on the end of my TV. Maximum laziness.
What does that mean? Are we like summoning the TV through voice or?
Yeah. So that was actually one of the features of the Kinect I really liked was just pause and play from voice.
Sure.
Let's see. I thought PUBG was your fave, Bronson. I like PUBG a lot too. It's that.
PUBG's my fave.
Yeah, it's that or Apex for sure. I would lean a little bit towards Apex. I got to see it played last night. It's glitchy as hell. Lag is there, but it's interesting. I kind of want to play. Not gonna lie. Yeah, no, we might. We've talked about doing a community night of that one soon, especially because it's cross play across everything, so we can get literally everyone in for once.
Yep.
Because part of the problem with the last few community nights is only some people have a Switch, only some people have an Xbox, only some people have a PlayStation. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a great time with it though. From what I played. What else? Tried Black Mesa.
Okay.
So I was sick this week, but half of this week, so I got to try a lot of stuff. So I put some time into Black Mesa. That was cool. It's Half-Life. Alexa in my phone. And
oh, okay. Yep. That's a good deal.
That is
nice.
Nice. I've been wanting to get a HomePod for that reason. Anyway, so I put some time into Black Mesa, and like a lot of it, they did a lot of work to make that game feel modern-ish, and it looks great, but like there's still parts of Half-Life 1 that you're playing where you're like, oh right, the core of this was made in 1998.
Sure. Well, so how long has this been in production?
A long time. I know it's like a while.
Oh my god.
They started it when Half-Life 2 came out.
This is a hard cry for Valve to be like, okay, let's just remake Half-Life 1 and 2. Like, let's just remaster Half-Life 2, like remake Half-Life 1, while we're putting out Half-Life Alyx. Like, it's just they're wild and weird.
Wow.
All right, I am the Nasty Boots. What's up, Nasty Boots?
Hey, how you doing, Nasty Boots?
Nasty Boots.
Our favorite boy from Ireland. And he just wants to know, how's our hysteria levels?
Low right now.
Fairly low.
Yeah.
My work sent me to work from home starting tomorrow.
I got to go to work tomorrow. It is what it is.
Events got canceled near me that I was going to go to, so it's not that bad, but it's here.
We're aware.
I was gonna go to Hero Hype Miami. I was actually gonna go host a panel there for superhero games, and they canceled at the very last minute. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go do it there. But I'm actually seeing if I could hit up I Need Diverse Games, like that organization, that website, because they said like if your panel got canceled at an event or if you were gonna do an experience, hit them up and maybe they could actually do a live stream of you doing your panel like that to everybody. Because I think that'd be kind of cool for me to do, just to talk superhero games with everybody.
Yeah, that would,
Yeah.
I would love that. Like, there's definitely some good. There's a lot of good ones, especially in the past like decade. Like
Oh yeah.
you look at the Infamous, the Batman, the Spider Man.
Hmm.
There's a lot.
So
Big one
yeah,
coming out later this year.
Exactly.
Let's see.
we are going into self isolation possibly this week. You know, we keep a Resident Evil style journal.
Make sure you got green herbs and red herbs to mix.
Oh yeah.
uh, let's see. Cart
One
says
pistol.
my work requires someone to be on site during office hours, and my coworker has children, so I'm the one who can't work from home.
Yep. Yep.
Damn.
Got exposed to the plague. Um,
That's right, Unspoken. Our Echo Dots. We're being monitored at all times, and everyone knows that we enjoy Spotify and white noise and
They're lurking.
being told the weather and traffic.
I mean, yeah, apply that to all the Apple version of that, and yeah, same.
Yep.
Let's see. We got my mandatory leave, but not for Corona. The fuck is this backward pageantry? And I'll barricade the door, says Cart. All right, back on topic. Black Mesa. Yeah, it's been 15 years. Like, there are parts of that game that are like, oh, right. The original Half-Life was made in 1998, and there are certain design decisions that feel that way.
Yep.
Shooting still feels good. Story's good. The loading, man. So the original Half-Life has these points in it where, like, because of when it was made, it just has to load at the weirdest fucking points. Like, halfway through so for those of you who don't know what the original Half-Life opens with, it's this long tram ride through the Black Mesa facility into the very heart of it. And, like, just randomly midway through that train ride, it loads.
Great.
It's just like...
Has that old 90s game design for the 3D era.
Yeah, like,
Like
oh.
PlayStation 1 loading, just randomly just shows up.
Cool. Great.
Yeah, like it's a really cool intro. Yeah, so so yeah, like that's a cool little, like, I like that intro, the ride to work, and then the fucked up shit happens, and then you try and save people. So that's been a cool experience. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish it. Like, I haven't played through a full Half-Life 1 playthrough since high school.
Yeah.
So
And there's so many games coming out, especially this coming week. So
Way too many.
right,
Yeah.
like you have Doom and Animal Crossing, you have Persona 5 Royal coming soon, and then currently I'm doing Ori and the Blind Forest, or not Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of
Yeah,
the
no.
Wisps, the new Ori.
That game is
Um,
beautiful.
It's fantastic. It definitely has technical problems though.
Yeah, that somebody was telling me that game has crashes, and I was like, "Damn, that sucks." Because those games,
Oh.
both Ori games, absolutely beautiful to look at and play through and just watch. So, I mean, I hope they release a patch that fixes that up.
All right, so yeah, I haven't experienced any crashes. I've experienced at the beginning of the game some real frame rate issues, and I'm running on a GTX 1080.
So you shouldn't be getting that at all.
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
Straight up.
Yeah, it was just at the beginning of the game. After that, it was like fine. Like, it was weird. Like the first like 20, 30 minutes, I was like, it's kind of dropping frames, and then
Yeah.
it went back to normal. So it's still very much Ori. Controls are super tight. Beautiful game. Holy shit! Like, the art direction is a fantastic. The music is great. Controls real tight. Play very challenging on the normal difficulty. Yeah. So, and then really Neon Outlaw says, can confirm Black Mesa likes to lock up and crash. Yeah, that's another one. Well, I didn't experience that, but I did experience lengthy multiple load times. So yeah. We got a couple of comments saying, I love seeing Braun struggle to stay on top due to the fact that in IRL he can go on hours long tangents. And then they're talking about the COVID virus. And
Yeah,
then,
you know.
So
Can't help it.
And yeah, Nasty Boots is late. Yeah, Mr. Jake James Lugo. He runs a fantastic YouTube channel you should check out and a Twitch. So go do that. Literally just look up Jake James Lugo.
Here, I'm gonna link.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He says he's beautiful. He will sub.
Thank you. That's awesome. Much love to you. My goal this year is to try to pass 10K. It's like that.
Nice.
That's my first goal because I want to be able to get more subs so I could do a lot more bigger things. I would love to go to more events, but I would also love to have more local events down here. Like one of the places I wanted to go to down here in South Florida is a place called Glitch Bar or Flynn's Arcade Gaming and More because I want to host an actual event or a fighting game tournament there.
So, like one thing that I've noticed that has been real beneficial for any channel I've ever worked on is the event coverage. So I think that'll
I do the most down here in South Florida. Like I go to almost all of them. Like there's very few that I don't go to down South Florida specifically because the last one I went to was Super FanCon and I hosted a panel there. I was doing a Nintendo panel while I was there.
Wow.
See, I live in Reno, Nevada, which has jack all for events, and then Aaron lives in Seattle, which has like
tons of events,
biggest of events.
Yeah, LA, California has the most in the United States, as far as I know, and New York maybe, give or take.
I hate going to Los Angeles. I hate it.
Dude, there's so many fun spots though. I mean, it's a pain in the butt in some aspects, especially flying to LAX. But like once you're there and you got stuff to do, it is so much fun.
I've only had to fly through LAX once. I actually drive there because we're within 8 hours.
Wow.
Which contributes to why I hate Los Angeles. Have you ever driven in Los Angeles?
Oh no, hell no! Like especially during E3 time, nope.
Yeah, see, that fuels it.
That's asking for it.
Yeah. So people are asking. We're still waiting for a Sea of Thieves community night. I know, man. We only do it once every 2 weeks, and there are a lot of games. If you guys want to get together in the Discord and organize community nights that aren't on stream, by all means, go bananas.
Specifically, if you want to like come into Discord just to chat and stuff, that's great. But also, that's a fantastic way to help us decide the direction of this channel. Is letting us know what you want to see from us.
Yeah, like, yeah. So, hold on.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good.
Oh, there's 2 Aarons on now.
Oh no! Hi. How you doing? I'm the guest. My name is Samuel. I own a brothel. I serve PB&J mead.
Did your camera disconnect?
Well, he's answering something at the door.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
he'll be right back. So, hi. How are you? I'm glad to be here. I co-run a channel called Super Gamecraft. If you could plug that in the comment section, I'd very much appreciate it. I also have a Twitter. It's Radley Duder. I post on it once in a blue moon. It's a real good stuff.
Oh fuck!
I need to get better at posting on Twitter. I'm not very good.
Oh Lord, I get a lot of traction on Twitter, just like responding to stuff. It's weird.
You're good. You're good with Twitter. The way you use Twitter has been really good.
No.
Is your name Aaron Nasty Boots?
If
it is, we have a problem.
Ron. Stephanie's question earlier is what should she do for food, and I don't know, DoorDash.
No. I don't know. It depends on what's near you.
Get some chips. Get some salsa.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Let's see if it switches back.
If you need proper food, you may have to go for something more. But if you just need, with what money?
Might have to go hunt like a squirrel or something.
There you go, Red Dead style.
Hold on, I have to fix the so. Oh no, this was not prepared for this.
While he's doing that,
there you go.
I would love to do a Sea of Thieves community night.
Night.
I've been trying to. We're working our way towards doing something like a Deep Rock community night if the people are interested. But again, the best way to get a game that you would like to see us do community nights for, to join us for. There are 4 of me on this stream. Oh God. Okay.
Oh my God. Skype is not reading any other window.
Oh my God, you serious? Oh
All
man.
right.
So, hey, how you
Oh, there's
doing?
me. All right, we're good there.
But yeah, get on the Discord and talk with us about what you'd like to see, just from community nights, for our streams. We stream Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, playing games. So if there's any games you ever want to see, just like let us know, and we're totally open to trying those things out if we have the money for it or whatever. And then we also are trying to work on ideas for putting stuff up on YouTube. If you guys are interested in seeing anything, you can absolutely suggest something to us there, and we will consider it and talk with the community about it.
There we
So,
go. Got it.
That's another thing I gotta send you guys. I gotta invite you all to my Discord server because I have an open Discord server for everybody.
that's
Yeah,
right.
same.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Okay, if you ever want, I know I've linked it on like my social media stuff, but you can always just share it with other people because it's welcome to anybody. Anybody who loves games and stuff. You guys could even go and share your show there whenever you guys go
For
live.
sure.
There's a little spot to do that.
Sure, and same here.
Yeah, our only rule is you got to be a follower on here. That is our rule for the Discord. Oh God. There we go. Okay, so we got it fixed. Got it fixed, everyone.
There you
Oh,
go.
geez, that's the wrong link. Everyone ignore that terrible thing I just linked in the chat
What
there.
did you just link?
I tried to link Jake James Discord from the YouTube channel, but I did copy link location, and that freaked it out real bad.
There's
Here's the actual link. Yeah, there you go.
It should
There
work
you
for everybody.
go.
If you have a Discord account, you can just go right in. You can just go nuts. Like there's spots there for everybody: gaming, anime, movies, stuff. A whole bunch of things.
Yep.
Right on.
Cool.
Man.
I just joined myself. So there we
Unspoken
go.
says he'd be down for a Sea of Thieves community night, and just Aaron community night. Boo more Bronson, says Stephanie.
Ah. All right.
Yeah. So hold on, I fucked up the title even. Great.
You fucked up the title, man.
Oh lordy.
You gone and done it now.
That's what you call MacGyvering on the fly.
Yeah. Reminds me of being at E3, like just panic.
I got some crazy stories about
Oh,
E3. Well,
dude.
when things are good and when things go bad and when things get wild. Like
Oh
it's pretty
God,
funny,
both
'cause
of you.
I've gone so far. I went to my 50 E3 last year. That was my fifth one that I went. I was with the coalition.
How many did I end up going to? 4. I went to 4.
Yeah, so you're right around the same time as me. The thing is that it's tougher to go alone now without a website. When you're independent like that, you have to have at least 50K subs on YouTube in order to go.
Yeah.
To be considered to go.
So yeah, we that was when I was with the Gamer Access, and yeah, the last E3 I went to was 2017, and man, that is a wild ass story.
Yes.
That entire weekend, oh dude, I'll tell you off camera, because it was nuts.
So understand, chat. Those listening to this or watching this now, there are some stories that you just can't tell publicly, but it's just so funny. You got to tell somebody. Like it's
Yeah.
Like
I got a lot of those. Those are
I've told this story particular, but it's so long that I don't want to derail.
If chat wants a funny story, like a funny Hideo Kojima story, I'll tell it. But only if chat.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Only if chat.
I
Yeah.
actually have I have one of those myself, but it involves so we had a staff artist because we did custom covers for everything, and he is the biggest Kojima fanboy, and we kept running by Kojima, but our artist wouldn't notice. And we're like, dude, it's Kojima. He'd be like, shut up. No, it's
He was
not.
hiding. Was he in a box? Was he near box?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Was he near any sort of box? Because that would just make it too funny.
No, but we'd be like, Kojima just walk by real quick. Like it was at the Microsoft press conference or out and about. It was right before Metal Gear 5 was being promoted, and we'd be like, dude, it's Kojima. It's Kojima. He's like, shut up. No, it's not. And this would happen 4 times, and then finally we're sitting outside at this giant. What year did you go to? 2014.
My first, yeah. Because I didn't
Okay.
go 2013. I went 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 19. So So I did, yeah.
Hey, we got a donation from Real Neon Outlaw. 500 bits saying, "Just to surpass Blasian and Lexley, this is my castle, peasants."
Top dog right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Number one donator,
Let
boy.
you're gonna be like, let them fight.
Yeah. No, that's actually been really good watching them fight.
Chuck bits at each other. This
Um,
is the new bit wars.
Oh Lord, kneel before me.
God damn it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I did go that year to E3.
Okay,
Pretty
so
sure.
do you remember when Sony had that big Greatness Awaits set up with the boat and everything?
I think so. It was at their booth.
No, it was
I don't remember.
outside. It was outside the convention center.
Okay, so there was like where the tents were, where they have the PlayStation stores at. I'm pretty sure it's like if it's right outside, it's like by the West Hall.
Stephanie says, "I swear to God that if I wasn't on leave, I'd donate the shit out of this. I'm on frustration. High frustration. I am dad."
Okay.
All right, dad jokes. So we're finally sitting outside, and we see we see Kojima just standing there right by it. We're like, we both slap Bremen like, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he thought we were fucking with him this entire time. Just no, we kept running into Hideo Kojima. Oh Lord, it
man.
was.
Oh my God, I want to tell my story so bad. It's so stupid.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right, fine, Chad. Okay, so my Kojima story doesn't directly involve me. Okay, so I had a friend that was with the website at the time, no longer with them, but we were running around E3 like crazy. I believe this was 2015, 2016. I can't remember the year, but it was when they were promoting more Phantom Pain stuff, and
that had to be 2015.
It's probably 2015 though. So because Konami had a booth there where they were just showing Phantom Pain.
Yeah, that was 2015. I remember that because we tried to get an interview and they told us to go stuff it.
Because they're real sticklers with like everything. But that's Konami.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're running around and stuff, and my friend has to go to the bathroom. He has to go take a pee, and we're like, okay, dude, just like hurry up because we're hustling and bustling out here. Like this is E3. Like you can't stop for E3 sometimes. So he goes to the bathroom, maybe in there for a couple minutes, give or take and stuff, comes back out white as a ghost. Like he looked like he either saw Jesus or he saw the devil. So we looked at him and we're like, yo, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like, so I'm happy. He goes, guys, you guys don't understand what just happened right now. And I'm like, well, what's the problem? Like, what went down? Did something really happen? Because we're thinking we're panicking now at this moment. He goes, guys, I just took a piss next to Hideo Kojima. So we looked at him. We looked at him like, what? He's like, no, you don't understand. I literally just took a piss next to Hideo Kojima. So being that that's cool in of itself that he's near Hideo Kojima, but the scenario set him up for prime time to be messed with the entire day. So we asked him, like, listen, did you, like, when you were there taking a piss next to Hideo Kojima, did he show you his big boss? Like, did he show you his solid snake? Like, you know, was there any discussion about Snake Eater there? Like, what happened? Like, we were messing with him the whole trip after that. But he said it was like totally worth it, just to be within his presence next to the man in the bathroom, I guess.
That actually reminds me. That's almost exactly how I met Will Wheaton. I was at PAX 2012, and I got out of the bathroom. I was washing my hands. This guy comes up next to me and is washing his hands like right next to me, and I look and I'm like, oh, it's Will Wheaton, and I literally say, oh hey, hi Will Wheaton, and he's like hi.
To be like, shouldn't you be on the Starship Enterprise? What happened? You got kicked out from Starfleet?
He was signing
I'm
stuff.
sure he loves those jokes.
He was signing stuff at Felicia Day's booth.
Nice.
Oh, right, because of, what was
The
it?
Guild. Yeah.
Yeah, the Guild was going that time.
Yeah, and that was PAX 2012. Yeah,
yep.
So, God, I miss going to PAX.
That's just fun.
It's my favorite event. Like, it's by far my favorite event. So yeah, no, what was it? Did you ever have to, do you currently, or have you ever had to do the interview hustle, as I call it?
Yes, I've had to do so. But the thing is that it's different for everybody because some people have multiple interviews that's all they're doing. That's not what all I was doing. Like I've had interviews scheduled, but I've had to do other stuff like surrounding my time schedule.
Okay, that's not exactly what we're describing. So, E3 2017, we didn't get many interviews scheduled. And so what we do is we actually managed to get interviews on site. So
I see what you mean. So to ask them while you're there.
Yeah, like ask them while they're there and just squeeze it in. And we got a lot of good interviews. We got Sea of Thieves, we got Forza 7, we got like just a bunch of good stuff. But one of those was Dragon Ball Fighters. But how we got the interview was hilarious. I go to the booth the first day of the show floor, and I'm also like, "Hey, can we have an appointment on the last day? Can we do an interview for fighters?" They're like, "No." And I do it again the next day. They say no. I do it again the
That's how it
third.
usually goes.
I do it again the third day. They say no. I do it the fourth day before our appointment. I say no. I go to the showing at Dragon Ball Fighters, play the game and everything, and then I just skip over the PR people or the front desk people and ask the dev, "Hey, do you want to do an interview?" He's like, "Sure."
And that's how it usually goes sometimes because, and the reason why they do that is that they're not trying to be mean or anything, is because they have all those scheduled interviews beforehand for all those outlets and people that are doing that. And sometimes they have to be like that because even though that's cool and like how that goes, that's totally fine. There's other people that sometimes really overstep their boundaries and they have to be, a certain way with them. Because I've seen it. I've seen people get tossed, from certain sections. Like one time, I think I can't remember, it was 2016, 2017, that I went to my first Nintendo like booth tour, which is like when Nintendo takes you behind the booth, you actually get to go play away from the floor itself, that. And I saw a dude get tossed because he brought in a camera trying to film stuff for when Smash Brothers Ultimate was being shown, and the Nintendo ninjas, the Bowser Brigade, got this man. And I told you it scared the hell out of me, but it was awesome just to see because it was just like you don't believe it until you see it, and you understand, like, because Nintendo does not play when it comes to stuff like that.
Dude, I have, oh my god, I have a fucked Nintendo story, which was, we did not get a Nintendo we had a Nintendo we had a bad Nintendo contact for years. And
that always goes like that for everybody. That's how it always starts, and every single time.
And I was just like, okay, no, I'm fixing this. Like because at the time I was our PR monkey, as I like to call it, and as PR monkey, I'm like, no, we're fixing this year. I'm tired of this shit. And so I sent so what I did is I sent one of our editors to go to their booth every day of E3. I told him, "You do not leave until your next appointment or you get a good contact."
I've had to do that. That sucks. I'm telling you right now, that is not fun.
That's why I told him, like, you have that Gran Turismo appointment at 12. I don't want you to leave the Nintendo booth until 12.
The rep made me come back every single hour doing that just to ask, because they tell you, it's like, okay, we could squeeze you in, just come back at this time, and they keep doing that to you throughout the day. That's the worst.
What finally got us a contact, not an interview, not a booth tour, just a good contact, was we met the most popular Pokemon YouTube channel in Italy, and they vouched to us to Nintendo Europe, and Nintendo Europe vouched us to Nintendo of America.
Yeah, sometimes that's got to be like that. Like, they're notorious for being difficult to work with sometimes. Just to get them to see you and just do stuff, it's just annoying.
What was super hilarious too is, how most E3 at most places they give you a business card and you throw it into your phone and you're good to go.
Yeah.
No, I go to that booth to get the contact
because the press assets card.
Yeah, and they don't give me their PR rep's business card. Mm-hmm. What she does is she writes her contact email on a sticky note, folds it, and then slides it to me. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now?
You got to be sly about that, like, because that's how they are. Nintendo's the only group, the only company that is like that, and is, for years I had to struggle with them. There was one point that I was a Nintendo brand ambassador, and it got taken away from me because their grouping that was handling the brand ambassadors and stuff, something had happened with a bunch of YouTubers where they were selling games they were getting for review, and they totally dropped everybody, even if they had nothing to do with that, and then just redid the entire system. I'm like, that kind of sucks for me because I never got involved with that. Like, I'm over here doing content, trying to work with you guys, and I just got treated like trash with the rest of these people.
The thing is like, we drank the Nintendo Kool-Aid so hard. We're so positive about them, especially like during the Wii U era, and we still just had to go through this hell. And I'm like, man, I would really love to give positive press and all these reviews that I'm doing after the fact that don't get as much traffic because it's after the fact.
It's just crazy, man. They're like that.
No, another story. Yeah, that was just, that was a standout one for sure. And the thing is, I get the exact opposite treatment at Microsoft. Microsoft is just like, I literally walked up day of, no appointment, to almost every game, and they're like, yeah, we'll do an interview.
That's cool.
Sure.
Now, I like that more with the third parties. Like the big three is usually the ones where I have the most problems, but like the third parties and obviously the indies are usually the ones that are the most open and understanding. Like the third parties, the best one for me has always been Bandai Namco. It's always been Capcom, Square, surprisingly Square, because I'm a big Square Enix fan, covering like Final Fantasy and stuff. And like the best story I can remember of like working with them was that when Kingdom Hearts 3 had the demo one year at E3 that everybody wanted to play, I didn't wait online and I didn't have an appointment. They just put me straight in as a member of the media. And I was like, oh, that super grateful for that.
Namco was always good to work with. The company that I had the number one relationship with, the two that stand on my mind were NIS.
Yeah, them too.
NIS is they have great communication. The review surveys, they throw those things out. They're
too, Sega. Sega's another one. Like Sega, I'd say that I'm a Sega fan, but they're really nice.
So yeah, Sega was great to work with. They were dynamite. So Sega post buying Atlas was great to work with.
Yeah.
So prior to the Atlas buyout, we were actually blacklisted by Sega.
Oh, that sucks. And you see, that really sucks to hear that because like sometimes it'll be over something stupid.
It was over something stupid. So we gave. We got a contact with Sega in late 2012, and we actually gave a lot of their games a lot of positive press. I talked up Yakuza 4 a lot. We loved Sega All Stars Racing Transformed. That got a positive review from us. I gave Anarchy Reigns a good review. And then they put out Alien Colonial Marines, and dude, I just dragged it through the mud. Like I beat.
And that's usually how it goes and how it happens. Like now getting Atlas and stuff like modern Sega, they're a little bit more understanding. And I like it when PR is fair and they understand because a lot of the PR that are really good PR contacts or personnel understand that. Listen, you're not always there to be so hunky dory and just so nice to the games that they let you cover for the covers of the content.
I always feel so awkward sending back a review I score negatively.
You shouldn't ever do that because you got to be like, listen, okay, this is just how I felt about it. Like, as long as you're not a jerk about it, I think that most PR reps, at least the majority of them, will be like, okay, I understand. Yeah. Like they don't want to get a bad review. Like nobody wants to get a bad review for their game. Yeah. But as long as you're not being obnoxious, rude, and just like unfair in regards, I can understand.
Most games are not bad enough to warrant anything below like a 5 out of 10, which is what we were on back in the day, until the very end when we switched to a 5-point. And I remember reviewing, and I gave it a 3 out of 10, and I said, like, the multiplayer is kind of fun, but, like, if you're an Alien fan, you should probably be insulted they thought you would like this.
I think that's fair. If it's that bad, if it's broke, because remember, Aliens Colonial Marines was really bad, like garbage to some extent.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, and then they blacklisted us until they bought Atlas, and we had real good contacts with Atlas. John Harden, who was working there back.
John is awesome. John is the man.
I forget where John's at now.
He went to he went to that company. I can't remember their name, but they do a lot of MMOs and stuff that they had, like Wushu, I think it was at one point. Because I remember going to his appointments after he left Sega and Atlas.
Yeah,
I was to go do stuff.
Yeah, but like even their team after them were just dynamite, bro. They were just on it. Like even when they couldn't supply something, like we didn't get a P5 review copy.
But they're nice about it. They're nice about it. They're understanding. Like they're fair. That's the best part about. And PR peeps that are fair. And they understand, like, they can't always provide you with stuff, but, like, they at least, keep you in mind. At least they work with you when you can.
Well, the thing that always drove me crazy that I don't understand why no other publisher did it is Sega puts out review code surveys. They just send out a map.
Too, though. Now they do. Now, more recently, other companies have done that. Like Xseed is one of them. What is it? I've seen some from NIS, but again, it depends on what PR firm they're using and stuff. But others do it now. But it's more convenient to do that.
So yeah, because we haven't been in the review game because we're so new. I haven't bothered to reach out to any of these companies because I'm just like, even if we were big enough to get review copies, like I'm not in the mood to do that hustle right now. And but like I loved that about Sega is like you didn't have to play that guessing game of okay, when should I email them about a review copy. It was just like they would let you know, hey, survey's coming out. Here's the survey, and then you would get a copy or you wouldn't. Like
exactly.
Yeah, I remember sending. I remember one that stood out was like when Dragon Ball FighterZ was coming out. I emailed Namco and they're like, still too early. And then I would email Namco.
That before.
Yeah, and I'm just like, just Send us emails. Just let us
Like, let us
know.
know. Like, and the thing is, you don't want to be that person to feel like you're just like hounding them. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like, some companies are like that. I've experienced that with Bandai Namco for that, for like Soul Calibur, for like Tekken and stuff. Like, things like that will happen, but sometimes you just got to get over it and just do it because you have to let them understand or show that they can understand that you're not trying to be annoying. You're not trying to be a pain, but it is your job to find out about this stuff. And that was the perspective I took with any PR rep in any company and
yeah.
publisher that I did that. Some of the times it didn't always work out the best. Like EA was one that I had a real bad run-in with, specifically because of the EA press conference for EA Access, because I felt they treated us really wrong, like a bunch of times.
We we actually never did the EA press conference because they were because it was so early that we were just like, yeah, it's not worth it. We'd always do Sony. Well, of course, everyone does Sony
Yeah, of course.
because man, they feed you.
Yeah, that people don't understand, just like unless you're there, like how ridiculous it is.
Sony also liquors you up in some cases.
Of course.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. They know what they're doing. I saw
Yeah.
freaking a bunch of. I saw Shuhei in there lurking. Like they know exactly what they're
Yeah,
doing.
I don't drink at the before press conferences because like I want to take notes and be very coherent. But like I definitely am just like looking around. I'm like, yeah, I see how some of these articles get written.
I do that when I used to go to the PlayStation conferences when they had them like that, and they would do those types of things. The reason why I would drink with them is just to be around other people who were drinking. Like when you're around like people like Gio Corsi, when you're around Shuei Yoshida, when you're around like Jack Tren when he was still there at one point. Like that's what they're doing because they're doing that to show other people to start drinking and stuff. So you do that to talk to them. It's a social thing, not to get buzzed.
Yep.
Like really bad, but one thing everybody does do is eat because everybody's been running
Oh
around.
yeah. See,
eating all the time.
I definitely get the food and like I'll have a Coke, and then like I just say like, I don't want to drink tonight. Like versus like, you know, night 2 or 3 where we don't have anything, we're running out of stuff to do. I'm like, great, I'll drink.
That's when it goes down like at the offsite events for like other companies or even just like after parties. That's when it does that.
Dude, just hang out the JW even.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Everybody goes to GW all the time.
I partied with the guys who made Titanfall. It was awesome.
Sure.
There's been some wild fun times at the JW for me. That you see everybody there. That's the thing because it's so close, and even the people who aren't staying there go to the JW just because.
I want to do E3's dead now. We'll get to that in a minute. But like I was going to say, like if I were to ever do another E3 again, I would absolutely pay to stay at the JW.
It's worth it, but the problem is you got to get it booked. The thing is, it's booked so far in advance, like ridiculously.
We could have booked it. We just didn't want to pay it because it was like it was like $580 a night, and we were like, fuck that.
Yeah, it's way too much. The thing is, it's just everybody goes there. That's why a lot of the big companies like Sony stays at the JW. Sometimes Nintendo, they'll block that out specifically for those days, and it's even a little bit more than the week like that just to do that. But you're just better off not even staying there, staying like close by, and just going there every day.
We actually, we stayed about 20 minutes outside of town. We stay in this like Chinatown area at this.
Oh man, more power to you. When the last couple times I went, we stayed a lot closer. Like it wasn't inside downtown LA, but it was like a short walk to there. So like it was like down like maybe about a couple blocks at a hotel that we were lucky enough to find because it just made it convenient every night. Like when I would get out late.
So we figured out our own work cycle. So we figured that because the first year we did it, what we would do is we would get out of the convention center, drive all the way back to the hotel, get all our work done, come back party, and then come back to the hotel, and then do it again the next day. We figured out a far more efficient way my last E3, which was go wake up at crack of dawn, go work out of a Starbucks.
You got the press room, or not even. You got the press lounge and the press room there in the LA Convention Center.
This is before even that is open. This is like we're waking up at like 5:30.
Oh, okay.
So we go to a Starbucks, and then we work there until we can go to the press lounge. We hit the show floor. We come back to the press lounge. We go to a Starbucks, finish up anything we need to finish up there.
And you got the whole night.
And then we go party downtown, come back to the hotel, record the podcast, go to sleep.
Yeah, you save money that way. It's so much better.
Yeah, so we don't have to put wear and tear on the car. We don't need to. Yeah, it's a good system. So. Anyway, we should get back on topic. Fucking Jesus.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we could talk E3 stories for days, dude.
Yeah, it's just it sucks because now things are changing
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's going to be a lot less frequent to see that.
There's still PAX. There's still like
Yeah, but
Well,
still,
we'll
still,
see.
it's not the same. It's as someone who's gone to a lot of PAX Eases and E3s, like it's just not the same. I
Yeah.
understand
so.
why people say that though.
Here's the thing. I prefer PAX, even though like the difference with E3 is it's mostly industry,
Yeah,
versus like PAX as the general public.
which is everybody. Yeah,
But like then again, like when I'm working with the general public, um, hi, welcome to Super Gamecraft, where tangents are normal and amnesia is common.
Hey,
Yeah. So, but no, so we, but yeah, but when you're dealing with the general public, you can also sell your content, which is
true.
nice.
You
And
just don't
also,
get to hang with those same people, like those industry people that would normally be at like at E3. They just won't be at a PAX just for obvious reasons.
yeah.
yeah, like it's just all the PR reps and like maybe a couple of outside folk.
And security guards.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Well, also like yeah, but you can get around that. Um, look, man, we were a small pirate crew and we had to do a lot of hustling. So yeah. Anyway, played Ori. That was fantastic. I know we trailed way off from that,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think that's about it. Obviously, season 3 of Dragon Ball Fighters.
Of course.
Yeah. So I wish they had PAX in Phoenix so I can work that event. I mean, you can be a security guard in Washington,
This is
or
GDC. GDC is in Seattle
um,
and also PAX Prime too.
and Emerald City Comic Con and SoccerCon.
Well, yeah.
So there's a lot of
Typically, they would be hosted here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should dip into the news. Which first news story is Reggie Fils-Aimé
That's right.
is joining the GameStop board of directors.
Wow.
I don't want to move to Washington to be a security guard. If I moved to Washington, I'd work for a Caterpillar. Okay, that's fine. Do you think?
Okay, sure.
But yeah, GameStop's board of directors now has a Mr. Reggie Fils-Aimé saying in a tweet, he says, quote, "The game industry needs a healthy and vibrant at GameStop. I look forward to being a part of at GameStop corporate board and helping to make this happen."
I did not expect this at all.
I expected him to stay retired and like continue to talk at colleges.
I don't think
Sure.
this is going to help a lot. I think that this is cool for optics, but I think that GameStop's bigger problems aren't really going to be solved by him or by the addition of him onto their team.
So we got a comment from the real Neon Outlaw. My body is ready.
Well, of course. But that's the thing. Like, what's he going to do?
He's not really going to do much. Here's the problem. This is what I tell everybody about GameStop for years. They have a real issue with their customer service. Just the way that people feel and
It's
think
the
about GameStop
worst.
when they go in there. Because if they adopted some philosophy and just some ideas from a place like Starbucks, because the people that go to Starbucks don't go to Starbucks for the coffee. They go for the experience. They go for the way they feel when they're there. GameStop doesn't have that because their audience, gamers and their typical lower demographic, younger demographic, they're just not treating them like that. They're not treating them the same way that they would treat somebody who has money to go spend at a Starbucks that probably buys a lot of stuff, which they really should because they work in tech. But getting Reggie on there sounds good. It sounds cool, but I really don't see them really still being here within the next couple of years.
Dude, just like it's every time I go to a GameStop, just feels like the most fucking annoying experience in the world.
And the people there are rude sometimes. Like the last time I went to a GameStop to go trade something in, somebody tried to tell me on my Switch game that I had, which some Switch games have multiple languages of text on them. They tried to tell me that because it had, I think it was like Spanish or Japanese on it at one point, or some other language, that it was an international game that I couldn't trade it in. I'm like, dude, you have the same game on the stock right now on the rack that has the same exact thing. It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
Is
for
the
real?
Switch? Yeah. Well, also like, here is the moment that I have been like, that made me start my crusade against GameStop. It stands out in my memory just because of how unbelievably fucking awful it was. It was in 2012. I wanted to buy Mass Effect 3, and I got there, and there's a massive line out the door in the morning, and I'm like just waiting, and I'm like 4 back now. And this dude is not here for Mass Effect 3. He is here to trade in like 1,000,000 PS2 games. And he trades in 1,000,000 PS2 games. And it takes forever. They don't bother to get they don't bother to like, they only have
open up another line.
Yeah, they're trading in this dude's like 1,000,000 PS2 games that he gets a nickel for. And then the next person in line comes up and buys a 360 copy of Mass Effect, and then the dude pulls out like his like little speakerphone, megaphone thing. And it's like, we are out of 360 copies of Mass Effect 3. If you are here for a 360 copy, please leave.
Oh.
I have waited in line at this point for 45 minutes. And it is a launch day for one of the biggest games of the year. And
they were just underprepared. That's shame on them.
And the specialty video game retailer. The only thing they sell is video games.
You would think.
And I even straight up went up to the guy and I'm like, are you serious? You like, there's more copies back there. He's like, yeah, those are pre-orders. And I'm like, well, just, dude, like, why don't you have enough? He's like, he literally just tries to guilt you. He's like, you should have pre-ordered. And I'm like,
that's what they do.
And like
they try to blame you. That's the problem. They should not be blaming the customer like that. They should take the responsibility of it, which is on everything. Honestly,
I completely resist the urge to flip him off immediately. And then I literally go across the street. Literally get out of the mall, get in my car, drive across the street to Best Buy, and there's a wall of fucking 360 Mass Effect.
And that's the problem. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's moments like that, and it's just their reactions and the way that they make a customer feel when they go is why GameStop is in the rut that it's in now. Don't let the whole thing about their lounges and other stuff really fool you, because if they really were in a better position, not only would that have been done years ago, but also they would be making bank and not focusing so much on trying to get over on the used games market just to make a buck. Because real talk, when consoles start to go much more focused on digital, or like when they completely go digital, GameStop is screwed, because that's the big guys cutting off the middleman.
Well, like, even that, there's only one console I buy hard copy for anymore. I don't buy a hard copy on Xbox or Switch. I only buy it on PS4. It's the only and like, that's it. So, and I probably will continue that going forward with PS5 and whatnot. But, like, dude, so, like, it's just more convenient. The only advantage is like, yes, the resale value on used games is nice. And then, of course, you have the fact that you can, like, there is something nice about the depreciation of used games happening quicker than digital. But, like, dude, that, like, there needs to... I'm surprised, like, no GameStop competitor happened.
We did play and trade for a time, and again, there was other reasons why play and trade didn't work out, because the main thing was GameStop had exclusives. That was their biggest thing.
Oh, and then there was what was it? It's that place I used to shop at a lot, Aaron, when we were in high school. Game Crazy.
Game Crazy, yes,
Crazy,
that was connected to the Hollywood video.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple comments. I must be in the minority because I go to Starbucks for the coffee. Them vanilla fraps, though.
No, the vanilla fraps. Let's be honest. All the vanilla fraps like stuff and the specialty drinks at Starbucks, phenomenal. But really, the majority of people that spend a lot of money at Starbucks is really going just for the experience.
Yeah,
they're hanging out, they're bringing their laptops, and they're working. And,
exactly.
Yeah, like, I go to Starbucks because it's the only coffee place by my work, and it's it's good. Like, it is good.
In Seattle, it's all about those local coffee shops, man.
They also pressure you to buy their stupid memberships and pre-orders. Yes, every fucking time.
That's another thing. It's obnoxious. It just puts pressure on the customer. That's why people have such an issue with GameStop, outside of like the typical stuff you hear people complain about. But it's really putting pressure on the customer when you really shouldn't be doing that. You're supposed to offer.
The only thing I can really say nice about GameStop is, like, they will have shit in stock that other places won't have sometimes. Or, like, they keep it longer. Like, every other place was sold out of that Last of Us LE edition pre-order. GameStop got me. Like, that was like, good for them for that. But
they get the exclusives, which are good. That's what people love about them, is when you get that exclusive stuff. But then that only has a charm for so long, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And man, the amount of, like, merchandise that they have now. Like that's their new thing is like just loading it with stuff because they got ThinkGeek, right? And they were just like,
Well, they
they're
partnered
just
with
selling
ThinkGeek for a while, and like those things are expensive. Like even the shirts, like when you walk into there, like
Dude.
sometimes you can find that same type of stuff, if not better, for a little bit cheaper at other
You can
retailers.
literally
The
like
only
go,
reason why it's there is because it's GameStop.
you
That's
can
it.
go, you
Right.
can like go to Kohl's and get all those for like $12.
Yeah.
It's like parents bringing their kids, and then the kids see something that they want, and they want it right now. Like that's their strategy, I guess, is just having all of this crap out here for you to buy, and it's just I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, yeah, it's gross, super gross. Um, the
The
clearance,
good people at GameStop are the MVPs, but
yeah, like and their Black Friday sales have gotten better, but like even then, like it's not like the problem is like they're competing with Amazon and Best Buy, which are doing everything they do better. Like that's
sure.
the
Pretty
like,
much.
which is weird because they're a specialty retailer.
That's a thing. That's what's so crazy about it.
Like it's like how the fuck like, and the thing is like, man, I would love it if like one of my local places like Captain Games had the resources GameStop did, because like they are an amazing specialty retailer.
Mm.
Um, I still need a Snorlax Lovesack beanbag chair. Game Crazy.
Don't we all?
Game Crazy was fucking rad, dude. That's where, first off, they undercut GameStop almost the entire way across the board for used games, and they always had the rare shit. That's where I got my copy of Persona 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So yeah, no, they were the shiz. No, I don't think this is gonna help at all.
I don't either, honestly.
So
I
I
think
can
I think
hope
it's just
so.
optics. It's just optics right now. It's cool to see Reggie because we all love Reggie, but I don't
Yep.
think this is really going to turn it around unless he does some crazy miracle, which I doubt it, because he's just not going to be that one person to turn this whole ship around. Unless they give him like full complete creative control over a mega corporation like
Yeah.
GameStop, but it's not going to work.
Do you think turning GameStop into a gaming lounge, if like most GameStops,
So-
if not all of them, were to turn
so-
into gaming lounge and experiences like Starbucks, do you think
So-
that would work?
So
No.
so those of you who are watching the Twitch stream, I do have their concept experimental stores pulled up right now.
Some of them are
Okay.
out now. Some of them are up now. Like I've
Yeah.
seen people go to them. The thing is that that's cool, but that should have been done years ago to capitalize on the popularity of GameStop being that gaming shop that people could go to specifically for video games. The problem is that I think that idea is way too late, and they have bigger problems to address right now, especially in the world that we're in now, where things are going to be going more towards digital with the newer consoles. Eventually,
Yeah.
after PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, whatever, that's gonna be Xbox Pro Series X or whatever, and then like everything else down the line afterwards. Like the thing is, GameStop has really kind of almost refused to evolve in some way that doesn't be so dependent on undercutting or taking advantage of the used game market and the used game customer.
Yeah.
Because people get tired of that.
Yeah,
God.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially because, like, even for the used game market, there's so many better options now.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, people buy digital because it's convenient because don't even need to leave your home in order to play games like that. But also look at the sales that you get on like the PlayStation Flash sale and Golden Week, the Steam sales, the eShop sales. The eShop sales have been on fire lately.
Yep.
If you've seen them, like look at the whole time because Doom Eternal was coming out, around the same time as Animal Crossing, they put all the Doom games on sale on the eShop for like cents. Like people are going to look at that and be like, wow, like that's insane.
so Outlaw says, I got my meatball sub on order, and Ori and Warzone are installing. I legit
There you
wanted to
go.
buy a cheap third-party GameCube controller, and they shoved a membership down my throat. I still
Ugh.
love
Yeah.
them physical copies, though. I'm an old-school tactile nerd.
I get that.
That's my
Eh.
point, though. Them trying to force it down you and keep in mind, there was an article I think that came up by Jason Schreier or somebody else saying that the employees are really pressured to do that. Like the majority of people don't want to do that behind the counter,
I
but they're forced to do it.
I worked there for half a year, and yeah, no, that is a huge part of it. And now they're even like pressured to sell that credit card.
Yeah.
Like it,
But see,
a
that's the
big
thing.
problem.
A lot of these people that work here, even like the rude people at GameStop, they're just people. They're trying to work. They're trying to just get that money. But GameStop, corporate is putting a lot of pressure on them to do this or that, and it shows. And so all that shit is really just emblematic of what's going on at the top.
And I don't think that's going to change with Reggie going to them, honestly.
Yeah, unless he just holds them down by the neck. So this is what we're gonna do.
I believe Reggie would do that. let's
He
see.
could. I don't know if he will.
Reggie
but yeah.
could bench press everybody in the room. I've seen him in person.
Yeah,
Man, it looks like he could bench press his security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted to.
Dude is jacked. So let's see. Outlaw says, "Real for hell, Razorfist worked for GameStop for nearly a decade," and he said the same thing. The thing is very similar to movies and music. I think games you're still going to be able to get physical copies, but I think it's going to be a matter of like that is very much a specialty thing.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna like Best Buy will have a row, just like they have a row for Blu-rays, but most people are gonna download that shit. You know, I don't think it'll go the way of the CD store,
No, I don't think so.
No.
but you know,
I think you're still going to get those big outlets that sell games like that, especially gaming hardware, from the big three like
Yep.
that. But as far as GameStop as a store, like being relevant, being around, some way that's going to change drastically, I think, in the next couple of years. If people have been saying that already for a while, but I think it's really coming, and I think they know it, and a lot of
Yeah.
other people know it.
so
I mean, that's why this news is here.
yeah. All right, so Marvel this week put out the final Black Widow trailer. Movie's coming
Right.
out in May. Did either of you gentlemen get
Ready.
to look at this?
I saw it. I'm hyped, and that's going to be the first, besides Wonder Woman, like female-led superhero that I think is going to be good that I've seen in a
Captain
while.
Marvel was okay.
No, I didn't like Captain Marvel. When I saw it, and I saw it like a couple times at theaters, I wanted to like it more than what I did. Because I think that was one of the few like times that Marvel's kind of disappointed me with a film, like the other one being Thor: The Dark Worlds and maybe Iron Man 2. But this one for Black Widow, I think this one has earned its hype for a while.
I watched through all the. We did a segment where we watched through all the Marvel movies, and I definitely agree. Like Captain Marvel's in the bottom half, but I don't think it's a bad film. Anyway, so Real Outlaw says Marvel Taskmaster confirmed. Captain Marvel's
That's
not
right.
okay, man. It was garbage. I'm with. I am.
Well,
with
I don't think
JJ.
it was. I'm with you that I don't think it's a trash movie. I don't think it's as bad as like maybe Thor: The Dark Worlds, but I think it was bad because I think the problem with that film was the conversation around it that became about other things
Yeah.
outside the MCU, which
Yep.
is the same problem that Wonder Woman had, which is the same thing also that Charlie's Angels has now, not too long ago. I think that's the problem, and it's the people in the films, the way they talk about them and talk to the audience. Star Wars is having a big problem with that now, as of late, but that I think itself, as far as like the greater MCU, I don't think it really affected the MCU that bad. Like
No,
that.
I think it's
No.
fine. I think it's fine to have a Superman type character available.
It was weird because they teased Captain Marvel before, or at the end of what was it?
Infinity War.
War. Yeah. And so it was like, it was supposed to be, it seemed to me like it was supposed to be this big thing. And then Captain Marvel, I thought it was okay, but like it was like it developed the character, like great, whatever. And then we go to Endgame and she doesn't play a
You want to know why?
role.
You want to know why that was? This came out because they were doing the Captain Marvel stuff in Endgame before they were doing it for the Captain Marvel movie, because she was kind of thrown in there at the last minute. There was a lot of stuff that was when that movie was being made and stuff that didn't really all match up, because I think it was Marvel or somebody over, or some grouping of Marvel wanted Captain Marvel to be a thing. Because remember, Wonder Woman was the first female-led superhero that was like really big. That
Yeah.
had a big splash, and understandably so. It's Wonder Woman like
Yeah.
that. So Marvel wanted to do that at one point because, again, they've done a lot of big stuff. They had it with Black Panther, the first real big black superhero out there
Right.
that really hit the mainstream in the way that it did, like that.
Like
But,
the biggest was Blade before that.
well, yeah, it was Blade, and I think there was a couple others, but not as big as Black Panther. Not
Yeah,
the cultural impact as
no.
Black Panther.
So a couple comments. They want $80 to $90 for GBASP. Real Neon Outlaw says, "Oh my God, thank you, JJ. You understand." See, the difference with him.
I know, man.
The difference with him, though, Quinn, is he actually is well
I've
spoken.
reviewed them. Yeah, and I've seen them. I've seen them all. I've seen a lot of these films and stuff. So.
I own literally all of them. I own all of them on Blu-ray.
Oh God, man.
It was a fun year, man.
Hey, let me tell you something. I love Endgame so much because the hype that was built up to it over these years, I felt like it earned the moments that it had. And I feel like a lot of the Marvel movies, especially the good ones that people love, have those moments where they earn those moments. And I think one of the few that was not like that was Captain Marvel. They just felt like it wanted to be bigger. It wanted to have that impact in the same way, because I went into Captain Marvel hyped up after seeing Black Panther. I was like, okay, Marvel I could trust to handle this type of subject matter or handle this type of hero and have it speak into something different to the mainstream. And it just didn't work out like that for me when I saw it.
Sure.
Okay, so Quinn says if Blade or Spawn was as big as Black Panther, we wouldn't be in this mess. God damn it. And
Kind of,
then
yeah. I kind of that a little
and I
bit.
cannot wait for Spawn to be rebooted, but fucking McFarlane is being a twat.
Yeah, that's been coming for years. Like he's been talking so much smack about that, and it's just like it hasn't happened. It's
My
like okay,
yeah, my only problem with Black Widow is the fact that like I feel this should have been like a Phase 3 or 2 movie, but
yeah.
like it still looks like it's a good flick. I'll enjoy it. You know, there are only there are only two Marvel movies I consider actually bad out of like the MCU. I
Okay.
consider Thor: Dark World to be bad, and I consider the Hulk to be bad.
You know something? I agree with you, and a lot of people say that I'm full of caca because the Hulk, because of its casting choices and stuff, makes it feel like a different movie. But like, if you really objectively look at the Hulk, and then you look at how the Hulk, transferred over when they went to Avengers and stuff, it just doesn't fit into the greater narrative of
It,
like the
No.
bigger picture of the MCU. It's just like they borrow clips, obviously, for showing people, okay, the Hulk is part of the universe and stuff. But like the stuff that they were gonna do in there, like the leader was supposed to be another villain that was going to be built up for the
Yeah.
MCU. Never happens because
Nope.
of everything else that went down, behind the scenes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
and I think they're going to get another shot with the Hulk because remember they're getting a She-Hulk series, and then the only reason why they haven't done a Hulk solo movie is because of Universal, because Universal owns the rights to the Hulk solo movies, and they were open about that. I think Mark Ruffalo was the one that blew the whistle on that when he wasn't supposed to at one point during an interview.
Oh, and then Kevin
Oh.
Feige fucking said it last year. It's like I guess they just don't
Yeah,
like making money.
yeah. After Mark,
Yeah,
kind of like spilled the beans, like
yeah,
he wasn't supposed to do that, but
Eh,
he does that a lot.
whatever.
they're
Right.
Marvel. They could say and do whatever they want right now. Marvel is riding high.
Yeah,
On a lot of stuff.
that's I'm. This year is interesting because they don't have like I feel like a tentpole movie, and that's the first time they haven't had one in a while. Because like Black Widow, great, Shang-Chi, cool, Eternals, cool, but like
I
that
know
just
why. You want to know why? Two things. Number one, Disney Plus, because that's where a lot of big stuff is happening. And two, because remember, the Fox deal just happened. And I feel like next year, we're going to hear, or sometime this year, it's the next year, we're going to hear that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are coming. And that's going to be their big thing
well,
because
also
that's a huge deal.
also
Come
this
on.
year was supposed to be Guardians 3 year, but
Yeah.
all that
But,
drama
keep
went
in
down.
mind the stuff with James Gunn and stuff, but that wasn't even their fault. That was Disney's poor decision. That,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
well,
wasn't
yeah,
even.
absolutely, but that's why we're not getting Guardians 3 this year.
Yeah.
But
So-
you know what? I like
I can wait.
that's the thing. After all this, they have been building this whole universe and they have delivered on it. Let them have a year that's mostly a break. And let's all just enjoy the break because then we can go back into this next phase where they're going to expand on more and we can really
yeah,
enjoy it.
Spider-Man's coming next year again, also.
That's right. And
Wow,
they're already
yes, that's
filming.
right.
They're already getting ready to start filming with that. And that's going to be another
Um,
big deal.
Tom
Yep.
Holland says the script is crazy.
Yeah. Which I mean, after the end of that last one, I am
Yeah, exactly.
very curious.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually have been meaning to rewatch that movie. Anyways,
That's my favorite in a while. That's my favorite Spider-Man movie in a
It's
while
a
because
good
I
one.
love the music and I love the way they handled the character.
They did
in the
They did a
MCU.
real good job with it.
Mysterio, yeah.
A plus Mysterio. So we had two comments and then we'll move on to the next story. Disney should have never fired Gunn. I agree. And then Quinn says Gunn's a twat, but removing him from the project was a very, very bad move. Yeah. All right. So Sonic Fox, after winning the Mortal Kombat 11 World Championships, yelled "Vote Bernie" while wearing a trans flag.
You know something about this, and I know a lot of people won't feel the same way. There's nothing wrong with repping whatever cause you want to rep, and I think that especially a lot of characters like Sonic Fox and a lot of people that are in the public spotlight can express their political leanings and stuff. I feel like now, as of lately, with Sonic Fox and a few others, they've leaned so much heavily on it that it's almost defining their personality and defining who they are. And I think they do that more for attention rather than to make a statement that actually would be significant. Because Sonic Fox is a phenomenal player in the Mortal Kombat scene and NRS scene. Like he's getting a lot of attention for who he is.
And and he's great at Dragon Ball, and
He does a lot.
He does a lot. Like this dude has a lot. Like I think he has like the second most Evo championships at this point.
I think that also the problem is though is that outside of like the way that the media covers things sometimes I think that a lot of media have given a lot of coverage because he's openly gay and he's openly about some of that stuff. That's a big factor to it as much as people don't want to talk about it. But I think like him doing something like this, I don't think it's appropriate as much. I understand why he's doing it. I think that maybe you make a better statement doing it in a different setting and in a different way than what he did like this.
I mean,
Mm.
I actually am fine with it because, like, look, okay, so this is the biggest platform he's going to have for a while, like, until probably Evo. And if he wants to spend it, like, in a fursuit wrapped in a trans flag saying, vote Bernie, good. More power to him. That's,
More
You
power to him.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, I prefer people saying what they say and then having, whatever consequences come to them on Twitter or whatever, rather than, the Blizzard,
yeah, you don't want
China nonsense that
to.
Yeah.
happens,
Exactly.
I would rather it be this.
All right, I'm gonna have JJ be my mouthpiece because it's an amazing ability to say the same thing I'm saying without sounding like an asshole.
Wait. What thing?
Quinn says, "I'm gonna have to have JJ be my mouthpiece because he has the amazing ability to say the same thing I've been saying without sounding like an asshole."
You're welcome. It's just the thing. It's like there's nothing wrong with Sonic Fox repping that. He's a Bernie supporter. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that politics with games, especially now in our industry in the games industry,
Well,
there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that different avenues, different platforms, and different people and the way that they express it have been very obnoxious, and people are very tired of that. And
oh,
I think that
dude,
being
Sure.
rude to people, being rude and,
I,
and
I
disrespectful to people about it is not the way to go. Like he could support whatever he's going to support, and I think that trans
oh,
rights, gay rights, and all that stuff is good. But like again, I think that maybe you have to go about it in a different way to make a better statement, to make a bigger, much more potent
I,
statement, and the support for what you're doing.
Quinn says yes, exactly. Well, I mean, like anytime something political happens, go into games media Twitter, and it's like the
And it's
most.
the same people. It's the same
It's
exact
like
people that you
it's
see.
like it's like the same 10 dudes just being dicks. Uh,
You know when it becomes a real problem, and this was actually shown when Far Cry 4 came out, because I know Colin Moore already talked about this, and a few other places talked about this.
mhm.
Everybody criticized that game and gave it the scores that they did simply on the fact that it wasn't covering Donald Trump right now. That's been going on, and a lot of stuff that was current events. When the game wasn't really about that. That's the thing that sucks because like the people covering and the people that are talking about it try to make it a certain issue when it really isn't about something. And that's a shame because that's unfair to the people that create the games. That's unfair to the people that are playing the games, as fans and readers. But also, it just comes off as
Well,
very disingenuous.
well, yeah, and the thing is also is this was, oh yeah, I remember the shit show with Far Cry 5. Like here's always been my take on this, especially as I have been a critic and gotten older, is I don't think you should follow an outlet. I think you should look for
Multiple.
editors who share your taste and writers and content creators who share your taste and your belief system and follow them. I don't think you should be in an echo chamber, but like, perfect example of this is like, I've been following Jeff Gerstmann since 2004. When he gives a game a 5 out of 5, I generally know, okay, I'm probably going to like that game. You know?
Sure.
Um, like that's the way you should do that. And I think it's good to get opinions outside of, you know, the people you agree with, but I also think that for this specific purpose, it can be. Let's see. Hold on one sec. We got a comment. For movies, I follow Chris Stuckman. For games, I follow ACG and Razor Fist. And then,
What is it? Chris Stuckman's pretty good. I also listen to what's that guy that punches at the end? Damn, I can't remember his name. That he does the vlogs. You know what I'm talking about on YouTube? Oh, oh my God, I have it on the tip of my tongue, and I watch him all the time. He just did a review for another release. I'm gonna look this up. Like,
Yeah, I can't.
I gotta look. I was gonna
I'm not a
bother.
name person. I'm a face person. I
Right?
can't. Uh,
um, yeah, I know for movies, I really like Film Critic Hulk. For when it comes to games, I like a lot of the Giant Bomb Crew. I tend to,
Jeremy Johns. Jeremy Johns was his name.
mhm.
okay.
Jeremy
um,
Johns. That's the one I was talking about.
yeah, Film Critic Hulk is fantastic.
But
Um,
that's the thing is also like, having one reviewer you go to that has similar taste to you is great, but also having like a few that go off in different directions that help you try to find your own taste within those different opinions
Agreed.
is very
yeah,
valuable.
absolutely. Which is, like as a tech enthusiast, that's a big reason why I like Digital Foundry. A lot of their guys.
They do
You know,
some fantastic stuff. They did the Mortal Kombat piece that they did not too long ago. That was just awesome.
yeah.
That video.
Like, I really like the Castle Super Beast guys, for example.
Sure.
They're both fantastic. So, so yeah, like there's definitely a lot of stuff to go off of for that, and I think that there is some value in the averages and the aggregate systems and like looking at outlets, but I don't think it's as valuable as like finding specific critics.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then also like talk to your friends and people you know who have similar taste, because because like Quinn was not gonna play Monster Hunter, and I'm like, no, I know you. This is the kind of game that you're gonna love, and
Sure.
here we go. So,
Yep.
all right. So hey, NFL.
Yes.
Yeah, I was so happy about this news.
This is
Uh,
amazing. I did not
2K is
expect
coming
this.
back. 2K is
2K.
coming back.
It may be arcade games, but NFL 2K games. And and Quinn says, and behold, 300 hours into Monster Hunter later.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
NFL 2K Games inks multi-year partnership for numerous titles. NFL has entered into a new multi-year partnership with 2K Games. The partnership returns NFL games to 2K, which is buying NBA 2K and WWE 2K for the first time in over 15 years. The deal, the new games are described as non-simulation football game experiences and specifies on developers. Exact titles and release dates are not yet to be revealed. However, current projects are already in early development and slated to launch sometime in 2021.
That's cool because arcade sports games are usually more fun to me than the simulation sports games
Yep.
because I think like stuff like Blitz, for football would be kind of cool, or if they could come up with a Blitz-like type of game because I think Blitz is owned by EA or owned by somebody else. I
Yes.
know that Midway did it a while back. I don't know who owns that IP, but like the FIFA Street, they have NBA Street or NFL Street type of games,
Ugh.
NBA Jam. Those types of sports games should have more of a place in our industry now these days than anything else because there's been so much simulation stuff. Like look at the wrestling games with 2K. I think those are terrible. I wrote two
Yeah.
guides on two of the wrestling games for IGN. Those games are terrible. I could tell
Yep.
you right now. They are not as fun as like the WWF No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, WWF All Stars, stuff like that.
All Stars is so good.
You know what I mean? Day of Reckoning. You're like those are arcade style wrestling games that are much more better than trying to mimic what you see on TV. It's more about the fun factors, what you really love, rather than how something looks. Because those games, to me, in comparison, play terribly, in my personal opinion. But some people might feel differently, though.
Especially that last one.
Um,
Yeah, that was broken.
Yeah.
That was really broken.
so,
But yeah, no, the NBA Street games, specifically two, and then the NFL Street games. Like I loved all those games. FIFA Street, even I don't even play soccer games, but FIFA Street, I just love those arcade games, and they need to make more.
NBA Jam, son.
NBA Jam is one that
Jam.
should come back. Like I was having a conversation about NBA Jam with someone not too long ago. Those are the style of games, because of the arcade machine and stuff, that are just fun. Like you could have an updated roster and have it play like that and just be amazing. Look at the last one they did for the Wii, then they brought it over to the other consoles and stuff. Those are awesome.
And NBA is more popular than ever before. We have more personalities, and the meme game going on the internet for NBA is insane. Like, think of what they could do with an NBA Jam now.
But for the NFL, I think this would make more sense. Like if they're doing non-simulation style games for 2K in some way, that's going to be awesome.
As someone who does love a football sim, though, I want 2K to make fucking simulation.
I think they'll get there. I think if they get like the arcade game and they get it successful enough, I bet you they can get.
Here's the thing. I still think you're going to get Madden, like with EA. Like I don't think.
I know
like,
I'm going to get Madden.
exclusive.
I don't want Madden. It's bad.
I mean, we've had too much Madden over the last like however long they've had the exclusivity with EA. But like I think you're going to still get. Now you're going to have options. That's the best part. You're going to have options places.
Right.
Yep.
Now, hopefully, the NFL will see that it's good for business and give me the option to get a good simulation football game. So there you go. Anyway, so Horizon Zero Dawn
Yes.
is making its way to PC.
Sure.
I don't see why people are upset about that. To me, that's so stupid.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that.
Man.
Yes, I confirm Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC. Said Holst. There'll be more information coming from Guerrilla and from new studio directors pretty soon. So he also mentioned that this doesn't automatically mean all Sony exclusives are bound to be ported to, saying, quote, I think it's important that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation and show more people that they've been missing out on. a whole set. And maybe to put a few minds at ease, releasing one first-party AAA title to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game will now come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was a great fit, in particular in this instance. We don't have a plan for the day and date release, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware. And then the complete edition is already on Steam.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. People upset about that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
honestly.
Madden 08 on the original Xbox was fantastic. I loved it. It's unfortunate that it's bad now.
So like I was part of the website that we were together on up until like 2015 or something, and then I just slowly but surely started taking a break from video games. I just tried to concentrate on other things in my life, and last year was when I started ramping back in, and so I've been like, adding people on Twitter and seeing like, all right, so what is the discussion going on right now? I am actually blown away that we are still having these like console wars to this degree. And now it's all over Twitter, and people are upset that we're losing like an exclusive on Sony, like years after it came out. Well, I don't get it.
War never changes.
That's just gatekeeping. The problem is that when people that don't know any better or don't look at the full picture think that like, oh, now they're just going to start making games for PC and PlayStation like that, or they think that, oh, all these other people are going to come in with their own opinions or their own thoughts about the games and stuff. It's a very childish and very ignorant type of stance or perspective, because when you have more people that are able to play your games more often, you're going to have a lot more people that are going to be able to buy your games more often as well, which means that the people making these games have more money to make some more other games or do other interesting things that they probably wanted to do. It's a very tunnel vision view to be upset at something like this, because keep in mind, I'm pretty sure we're going to get other big Sony first parties like the Uncharted series, maybe something like Killzone, or maybe even more others down the line that can make the jump to PC. But also keep in mind, for the PC cats, the mod community, imagine what those mods are going to be like for some of these games, since so many other games that are on PC have mod communities. Like there's a lot of things that people just don't think of, that it's just silly when it comes to the conversation online.
Like I understand the kids that get pressured into that kind of conversation because they only have so much money and they have to pick a console, and then there's that weird peer pressure with other kids like who has the better console, and it's stupid, but I understand. But when I see 20 somethings that are trying to promote their Twitch channels and they're promoting as like Xbox Saint or whatever, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So no, like
you just don't know any better.
Like this kid, I'm not even sure it's a kid. He has 99 in his screen name, so he's like probably 20 then. Says, great way to spend my birthday. Thanks for fucking nothing at PlayStation Gorilla, Herman Helst, Yohei Yoshida. Decades thrown away, and now is all for nothing. And, his room is destroyed.
How is it thrown away? That's the thing that people don't get. Like, how is that throwing decades away? How is that doing anything significantly to hurt the PlayStation brand, to hurt the PlayStation fan base, the PlayStation community, to hurt Horizon Zero Dawn? Like, it doesn't do anything like that. Like, people just talk to talk.
So I didn't like Horizon Zero Dawn all that much, but like, let's say for sake of argument, I did, and I would be happy about this because, hey, you want to know what's cool? Maybe. Let's say they don't put Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on PC, at least not at launch. Maybe a lot of those PC players will go buy a fucking PlayStation to play Horizon Zero Dawn 2. You know? Or like, and even then, like, this goes back to the point Aaron and I have said forever. Eventually, we're going to be a platform agnostic future. It's going to be just, you have a bot. It's going to be like, TV is now.
I don't actually believe that. I think that because of the way, because of things like this, and because of other stuff within the companies, wanting to actually, be able to get their own and to make money and stuff, I don't think we're ever going to get that. I really do, because it's this type of thinking is what prevents that from happening. It's what really stops people from actually trying to take risk and actually look into like how that can actually work in some way.
Sure.
Right, exactly. And, we have a comment from Unspoken, which Unspoken is at that age where, you're going to get this. I have a classmate that says Mario is trash because it's, quote, childish.
Yeah, you get those people. It's those same people who complained about Wind Waker when it came out.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of revisionist history with that game.
All right, Unspoken, let me give you some context from us old men. When I was 13, so that means Aaron would be 12. And you'd be 15. is so you'd be 15. So and Wind Waker came out, and nowadays you hear everyone talk about how great Wind Waker is and how beautiful it is and the art style holds up. But at the time, the Zelda fan base, half of it was shitting its pants and acting like idiots because it's not. It looks like it's for kids and it's kiddie.
You want to know why? Because that time, remember, I can't remember if it was E3 or
It was
Shinkai
Space
or one of the
World.
other big
It was
events,
Space
or
World.
Space World, that they showed the trailer of that concept that was supposed to be like a modernized, Ocarina of Time that was going to be on the GameCube, which is eventually would go on to become Twilight Princess in some way. But like we saw that, and then we got the Wind Waker stuff, and then everybody freaked out.
They called it Zelda because it was cell shit. Fucking stupid. So Quinn says, I'm not a Nintendo fan by any stretch. That doesn't make it trash. It's not my thing. And Quinn, to be fair, I think you would actually like Breath of the Wild. But anyway.
The fact that you have not, it blows me away. Hey, Polar Knights, how you doing?
Good evening. Another international fan.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Good to have you.
I'm guessing you got directed to us from our boy, Mr. Cartbale. So thank you for joining.
This goes back though to the Far Cry 5 controversy, where it's just the leading up to the game, the optics seem different from what the game ends up actually being, and it's unfortunately gamers' expectations are what drive the narrative.
This is like it's just so
And the way it's covered too. Keep in mind that there's also a huge with a lot of other games, not this one with Horizon specifically, but like also the way it's covered from a variety of websites.
Sure.
Okay, so we got 2 more comments. He also said that Skyward Sword was the end-all, be-all Zelda game, and even said that
yeah, right.
Breath of the Wild can't. All right, he's crazy. Look, he's crazy. Just disregard him.
That man's crazy.
That he's a crazy person. Just you'll learn to disregard those people, especially if you get into this field. I'm good, thanks. Aside from everything is closed, and I can't leave the house for the next 15 days.
Great.
Speaking of COVID-19, I actually got this amazing email from Domino's.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's been sending out emails related to this. It's so funny.
Yeah, but like Domino's now has this option for the COVID-19 called contactless delivery. So now I can leave an instruction to just literally leave the pizza at the doorstep.
This is just begging people to do pranks on people, straight up. Like that is so suspect. Like I hope they put it in practice good because there's some real trolls out there. I'll figure this out.
All right, so Real Alice says, "Gonna be honest, I've been pondering the idea of getting a Switch, but the problem is I don't think I'd be able to pull away from my PC. That's understandable. PC is obviously my primary platform. The thing is, I play my Switch for the exclusives, and there's a lot of exclusives I really like on it.
Exactly. And also the portability.
Yeah, and then also the fact that, like, at work, I have downtime where I can bust it out and put some time into Stardew Valley.
What's a good answer for him if he wants to convince himself about getting a Switch. If he's a PC gamer, go get a Switch and go get Doom for the Switch and go play it at your work or wherever portably, because that game runs really good for a Switch on a portable console. So when you're playing that on the go and you're playing something as good as Doom, the rebooted Doom, that'll convince you why the Switch is awesome. Or The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 came out on Switch recently, and I just did a review for The Witcher 3 not so long ago. Imagine playing that, what you do on PC, playing that on a portable console.
No,
that's what makes it awesome.
Let me note, because I have played both. Let me give a note to everyone, though. Note, visuals are obviously scaled back and 30 FPS. So
yeah,
but it's the fact that it's a fucking device this big, it is what it is. Unspoken says, I know about that stuff. I'm a huge fan of game history. You have the perfect podcast then, because I give a lot of historical context for stuff. I'm also a fan of game history. I think it's very important. So there's a series that I eventually want to work on called A Brief History of Video Games. I have written and thrown more scripts out for episodes of that show than you can imagine.
Sure.
Let's see, martial law in effect.
In Norway, wow. Wow.
Zelda games are always fun, he says. All the main series Zeldas are great. I will agree. God damn it, JJ, you fucking genius. We might have to have you back just for Quinn. What do you do Sunday mornings?
I'm just that damn good. That's what it is.
And Polar Knight says to, I believe me, I love your beard, man. You're so lucky. I tried to get a beard, but my girlfriend told me if I get a beard, she'd grow a 70s bush. And after
Oh no!
Googling and
Don't play with that. That's a fight you are not gonna win.
and after
Don't do
Googling
it.
and seeing what sadly can't be unseen, baby face it is for me.
Hey
My
man, some people are into that.
my girlfriend gets sad when I shave my beard. She hates it.
Oh,
She hates it.
that's fun.
Quinn says, "Stroke the furry wall."
Oh wow, I haven't seen that movie in years. Holy shit.
Oh Lord. And then yeah, a former game dev over at Horizon said, "We made a game, you enjoyed it. Now more people get to enjoy it, and somehow that takes away from your enjoyment." Question
Exactly.
mark exclamation point. Um,
It turned out, I believe,
hold
that
on.
that whole scene. What?
Hold on, it's not done. With a deadly virus spreading, climate issues and poverty still a real problem for billions of people. It does seem silly to get worked over a toy, doesn't it? Damn, Sam Sharma.
Well, so I retweeted that tweet thread on Twitter at Bradley Duder, and it turns out that that video was a hoax.
Okay.
Someone just trashed that. But what that developer did is he went on a full-on thread about how exclusives work. And just to explain to people, because while that video was a hoax, that was like an accurate representation of what people are doing
There's
on
some
Twitter.
people that act like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like he went on a full explanation of how that whole thing works. So if you want to look him up on Twitter and get educated on how the exclusives work in the biz, that's a good place to go. But it's ridiculous. The whole reaction to it is ridiculous.
I mean, Quinn, think of it this way, though. You can play Doom on the toilet.
Yeah.
There you go. That one brown hair can ruin everything. Better not, says Polar Knight.
All right.
The same
All right.
kid said on Friday that the Switch is not a console. That's just a beefier DS. Okay, once again, he's crazy. It's it's not like a PS4, but it's still like a fine console.
Yeah.
If you live in the USA, you are safe, as Donald said. As long as he is healthy, everything will be okay. I mainly use it for travel, and even then, it wouldn't be often. Once again, like I said, I use mine for exclusives, and I have that thing has a lot of good ones. So
Yeah. There's some good stuff on there. They need to do more with their retro area. I would like to see more virtual console stuff make it their way to the Switch. That would be huge.
versus
But
their just weird downloadable service thing.
yeah, with like 10 games on it or whatever.
Let's see. I have 1.1k channel points. I know we're working on stuff for that, man. We know we're
We're getting there.
like
We're getting emotes taken care of right now.
yeah. We just decided on the first two emotes. Yeah. So yeah. I'm actually saving up channel points on Lexi's channel because her 25k one is to have her draw a portrait of you.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
like yeah, I'm like saving that up. We need to make our 25k one something ridiculous.
Oh, well, that wouldn't be hard. We'll come with something
Yeah.
stupid. All right.
Quinn says 12.6k points. Get on my level, peasants.
Yeah, okay, Quinn.
That sounds like Quinn.
At least we know.
I was hoping the virus would stop working by now since it was made in China. But dumb dish.
Wow.
Okay.
It's cold.
I'm worried about PAX.
I'm worried about Evo. Yeah.
I'm worried
Yeah.
about Comic-Con. All of them. Everything right now, everybody is worried about everything. And it's understandably so. All those events are going to get canceled. You might as well just get prepped for it right now.
I think this year is kind of done.
Because E3 talked a big game, the ESA talked a big game, and everybody else was like, yeah, no, that ain't going to happen.
By the way, Polar Nights, if you like what you see, give us a follow.
Yeah, we do this every Sunday. And then we stream 4 days out of the week.
4 days out of the week.
Other than the podcast.
Yeah. Aaron does too. I do too.
Yep.
So, I mean, there might not be a PAX. We'll see. So, anyway. So, E3 has officially been canceled over coronavirus concerns.
That's not the only reason, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real talk. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah,
Yep.
like Jeff Keighley dropping out, the Dorito Pope. Jay, you're my first guy that asked me to follow him. Stalkers.
That's right, boys.
Up, there we go.
Cool.
There we go. Polar Knights.
Hey,
I think
All this stuff.
thanks for hanging out.
Hey,
We hope you
thank
have
you.
fun here.
Thank you. What's that put us up to? Oh, we're at 99. We're one away from the
We're
giveaway.
right there. We are almost there.
We're one away from the giveaway, boys. Let's see. The Dorito Pope abandoned his post, and everyone else follows suit. To be fair,
Everybody gives him such a hard time about that. I feel so bad for Jeff and I have to say that with the Nationals because I've known Jeff. I've met him and I've talked with him, and it's like when you look at when you meet him and you actually look at the full scope of things with Jeff, between the Doritos stuff with the Game Awards and the Spike VGAs, and you look at this now, it paints a very different picture because Jeff has been one of those people that's been going to every single E3 for years.
Yeah,
so him going is
yeah,
a big deal.
Yeah, he is a good dude. I've got to meet him once. It was very brief, but he's a good dude. He's a nice guy. It's just that it's funny, when I worked at GameStop for that 6-month period, I had to see his face promoting Halo 4, Mountain Dew, and Doritos every day.
Yeah.
He had to do that though. That's the thing that people don't understand. He had to do that to get the VGAs funded.
Yeah.
That's the worst. And I'm pretty sure he didn't like it. Like there are times that I've heard stories from other people talking with him. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that. I probably didn't want to do that and stuff like that. And it's understandable because he's trying to do something that nobody else wants to do.
No, absolutely. And I get it because I've definitely, God knows Aaron and I have had our qualms about sponsorship in the past.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So imagine him dealing with it at that level, where it's
right.
like a lot crazier.
Yeah, I remember. I'm not gonna out who they were, but we had a sponsorship to a CES where terms were not fully disclosed, and it just was a fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare to deal with that, and then you don't want to be that awkward person to deal with it. That's the worst part about that.
Oh yeah, I was not. I was thankfully not on the fire team at that time, as I called it. Unspoken says, to be fair, I didn't even know that this channel existed until 12 hours ago. Hey, man, well, if you like what you see, spread the word.
Show some love.
Yes, spread us around. That's how we get popular. I rip on Jeff a lot, but I don't hold any ire against the guy. I don't think anyone does. I think it's just all fun and games.
I really do, yeah.
Polar Knight says, got gas for $1.39 a few days ago. Unfortunately, it was at Taco Bell.
Aha!
But, yeah... I mean, the last E3 I went to was the first one that was open to the public, and even that one felt like it was
I hated that. I really hated that.
Ew.
I was there. I almost got trampled that first day. And you want to know why that it's such a bad idea for them to do that? Because they don't handle it the same way that PAX does. PAX has such a good handling on how to let the press in, how to let all the other people in. They do it in an orderly, concise and organized fashion.
They got the
problem with
enforcers.
the E3 people, they just I remember this, they had all the press people line up on the side, which they weren't even giving them a line to go in first. They were still going to put them in with the mass of people that were rabid at the door and just force everybody in there. It was the worst. And people run through the halls at E3, which was just crazy. It was absolutely nuts in the South Hall and the main hall where all the first parties are, where Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft were at. It's pandemonium sometimes at the start of the day. Worse.
Yeah, to quote Quinn, spread this channel like COVID-19.
Great.
No,
yeah,
I remember getting into that first day that the public was open, and literally being man, it is thank God that I'm huge and I work with a New Yorker, so we are gonna fuck these crowds up.
You got to sometimes.
It's I literally, when we had that Gran Turismo appointment and I was almost gonna be late to it, I sprinted across the goddamn convention center to the other side of it, and I was dodging people and shoulder checking people, not knocking them down, but being hey, I got an appointment. You're wearing a yellow badge. You got all day. Leave me. Get the hell out.
Exactly. And people don't like that. That was the thing. I got almost into a thing with, if I remember, it was Natsume Games. I had an appointment with them, and they had this long line. I think it was to go play a Harvest Moon game, one of their other published games they were doing. And some of the people there got really upset as press were going in front of them. And not understanding what was going on. It was crazy.
We got fucking dagger-eyed at Sega, because So at Sega, we didn't have an appointment for the Sonic games, Sonic Mania and Sonic whatever.
The racing game.
No, it was the Generation sequel.
Oh, okay.
The one that's free on Plus
Sonic
right now.
Forces. Sonic Forces.
Yeah, Sonic Forces. So we had an interview. We didn't have an interview for either of those. But like, I went up and I said, "Hey, we're from this outlet." I showed them our numbers. Hey, we're pulling about 600K a month, unique visitors. Da 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 da. And then they go upstairs. They talk and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll have you guys cut the line, and then you guys do an interview with our PR guys." And just everyone they were just like giving us looks like, who the hell are these guys?
And they don't understand that you're allowed to do that, because that's what you do even when the public is not there. You could do that at E3, provided you have your credentials with you in the show and you have a press badge, because the PR there are understandable. I mean, they're understanding.
There ended up being so we actually were talking to she was from What's Good Games, used to be on it.
Alexa Ray Korea?
Yeah, her. Thank you, Alexa. We were talking with her, and she's just like, she was talking about how annoyed she was with it that first year. And the way you could denote the first year is we had clear badges, business had blue, and then attendees had yellow.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we just started calling them yellow badges because
that's what everybody called them, because they were just the random people standing there.
Just fucking yellow badges. And then Alexa's like, oh, we started calling them normies or mudbloods.
Mudbloods, because they're like Harry Potter.
And then I forget there was another name. Plebs was one. And it's just like, because, we're here to get work done, motherfucker, move!
And people don't understand that. I remember that it wasn't the first year that opened to the public. I think it was the second year afterwards, where I had to rush through the hallways just to get the Bandai Namco, because there were so many people there, because they were my first appointment as soon as the doors open. And E3, the ESA and the security wasn't letting any press in early that had appointments at that time. So if you had it at 12 p.m. and the doors were opening there, you had to fight through that crowd just to get to the other side of the hall, which sucked. It was the worst.
No, I remember that multiple times. I remember having to snake through crowds to get that Forza interview. I remember everyone looks at you like you're a fucking asshole.
It's just the way it is. It's like, you're not media. I'm media. That's what I get to do. You guys are coming here, so it is what it is. Deal with it.
You guys are here on vacation. I'm here to stay up till 4 a.m. writing shit. And
people don't understand that. When you get a regular badge at E3 and you pay the $300 or something to go there, you can hardly see jack squat, because you don't get to see anything. You don't have any permissions. You don't get to see the conferences. You don't get to go behind the scenes at the booths and stuff. You don't even get in with a backpack at E3. That was one of their new rule changes over the last few years, that you can't go in with a carry-on bag. Only press and media could do that, which I thought was crazy, but I understood why they were doing it at the time.
I completely get that. Yeah, the messenger. So hold on, we gotta get caught up on a couple of comments. I was watching a cosplayer on Twitch make an outfit look like the virus. Outback Joey, Sega Genesis Outback Joey was my fave. Have you ever played the game called The Messenger? It's an 8-bit 16-bit.
Yes, I love that game.
It's a fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
It's like Ninja Gaiden. It's like Ninja Gaiden meets Contra meets a whole bunch of other games. It's so good. And it's a Metroidvania too.
Yeah,
I'm watching this, and this seems great.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It really is.
Yeah, I just pulled up screen caps.
I may play that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, bro.
Okay.
And it's not saturated, so it'd be good for growth. Crusader of Canty, so fun. Okay. Coverage was already, and more studios are, bowing out, and it's just, it sucks from a business standpoint. It sucks that I can't go and get the we can't go and give that story. It is what it is.
It affects a lot of people, especially not just us in media, but even the people working those places. I know a lot of models, a lot of booth people, a lot of people behind the scenes that usually go as their PR teams for various companies. Everybody gets affected by that. But a lot of this doesn't just come down to the virus. It comes down to the fact that the ESA doesn't know what they want E3 to be, doesn't understand that, they did.
They know what they want it to be. Q-tainment, bro.
No. What I mean by that is
social good.
They've been trying so hard over the last few years to make E3 like either PAX or Comic-Con that it just doesn't work because the majority of people like us and like a lot of other people, including I'm pretty sure Jeff Keighley, wants it to stay exclusive to industry people because that's what works for actually covering the games, getting exclusives out, doing the business deals behind the scenes. The other thing too, keep this in mind that a lot of people haven't forgotten because I was part of this last year. They leaked out everybody's information. So people are really pissed off at them for what they did because I wouldn't trust the ESA. I know a lot of people after last year were saying like, oh, we're not going to go this year because of what happened, because that happened so in like a terrible way, and they did like almost nothing to stop it or to like save everything, that it was like a complete and utter disaster. So I can understand people feeling really upset about the ESA and E3 now this year, and they put it on themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like you have this. Did you read this fucking industry pitch that they put out?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was
Yeah,
horrible. That
yeah.
was stupid. Whoever
Research.
did that was tone deaf.
The power of social good. By amplifying E3's social good brand, we can advance the industry's brand with consumers while storing positive chits for future use.
You know what's worst about that is that I've heard a couple interviews in various different podcasts after that came out where they were asking about that, and the people, I felt bad for them, being in that hot seat as the PR mouthpiece to talk about that stuff. That I wouldn't wish that on anybody, to be in that position, because no matter how you look at it, it's a terrible idea for E3. It's a terrible idea for a gaming show, and just it's so like the thinking of like years ago where influencers were still just starting to be on the come up like that, to capitalize on something like that, thinking that it would actually really change the course and direction for the show as a whole. But it is what it is.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, we got a little bit of fallout from COVID-19. Other than this, Xbox and Ubisoft are going to host digital events instead, so that's going to be a thing. And then nearly 20 million people were using Steam just yesterday.
Yep.
That's the reason why E3 is not going to come back, because those companies and a lot of others are going to do digital events from now on, realizing like what Nintendo realized a while back, that they don't have to go host their conference at E3. They don't even have to be there if they don't want to, and it's going to kill the show, because then now the companies don't have to pay to be at the show floor. They can have their own audiences or all the audience to pay attention to what they want at the time, rather than share the mind share or the stage with anybody else. And it's not going to have any sort of alternative for the ESA to do to combat something like that once it shows that it works. Because watch, it's gonna be crazy, because they're gonna scramble to try to come up with a bunch of like really wild ideas to hopefully get some attention for people next year for 2021 like that, and it's not gonna work. It's gonna be a shame too, because I like E3, I like being there as a media person, but you can't stop the industry from changing when a group of people or an industry or a company refuses to change.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so 19 million people, 19.7 million people were on Steam 7 a.m. Saturday morning. A brand new record for the service, broken last month's record and the previous record of February 2020, which was 18.8 million.
Wow.
Damn. Also it broke Valve's most popular games and set new concurrent records. Counter-Strike Go at 1 million. Dota 2 at 694,000, PUBG at 525, while GTA and Rainbow Six Siege make up the rest. Also, while on top of this, COVID-19 got Disney Plus to announce that Frozen 2 is going to be hitting the service 3 months early.
Sure.
God damn.
People like their Frozen.
Rise of Skywalker, I bet you, is another one that's going to come soon too, because that just went up digitally early too.
DVD is out in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's COVID-19 getting people to stay at home,
Right.
Real good. Last piece of news we have before getting into comments is Naughty Dog crunches on Last of Us 2. Developers wonder how much longer this can last. So on Friday last month, a bunch of artists at Naughty Dog working on a game heard a crash. Large metal pipe had fallen above them and landed right next to their desks. And then they were basically, what is happening is a lot of people are talking about crunching because of Naughty Dog.
Yep.
Apparently, they have been crunching on this game like almost nonstop. And then also that a whopping 14 to 70%, which is a weird range, of designers on Uncharted 4 are no longer at the studio.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
so this is some quote is saying this can't be something that's continuing over and over for each game because it's unsustainable, said one developer on Last of Us 2. At a certain point, you realize I can't keep doing this. I'm getting older and I can't stay and work all night. This account of Naughty Dog's culture is based on the interviews with 13 current and former developers, all who spoke anonymously before they were given permission to speak to the press as well. Reporting before Jason Schreier did his book Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which detailed the turbulent production of Uncharted 4. And then Sony and Naughty Dog turned down interview requests.
Of course.
So I read a, so what is your Crunch Boys? We're talking about this again.
Yep.
This is a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, because the thing is that without crunch, you don't get the AAA releases the way that you do by the time they come out, because they take a lot of time, money, resources to make them, and sometimes you need that extra manpower to make them work. However, at the flip side of that, the companies, and it's really the employers' responsibilities, the publishers, to actually make sure that the employees are taken care of when things are going down. There's a couple companies, like you hardly ever hear about Nintendo having problems with crunch, or some of the other big three. You know, you've heard it now more recently within the last couple of years because a lot more outlets are reporting on it. And I think that sometimes they do it a little bit disingenuously, not showing the full picture of things, because there's two sides to every story, especially with something like crunch, because if crunch wasn't a really a helpful practice, or to get games out, to get games in a completed state for release like that, no company would do it. There's checks and balances to everything, but things hopefully will get better as more people start to talk about it a lot more often.
Well, I also think that, as I've said before, I think that, like, for certain studios, you should know that, and I'm sure that they look into this when I'm sure that the people hiring for these companies do this is like, need to tell these people, hey, we crazy. Yeah.
Well, yes, but I think in dealing with this issue, the best thing that can be done is talking about it and discouraging it, even though it is happening. So I am happy that we're discussing it right now, because all we can do is keep talking about it. It's going to keep happening. It's going to be the same stories, and we're always going to be hearing about it in some capacity. But talking about it is how you get more developers and studios planning appropriately at the beginning of a game cycle.
The thing is, though, is like many devs, and like David Jaffe went into this on his stream, where he's like that you just can't prepare for everything.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's right. And the thing is that a lot of places that do talk about crunch don't bring that up because it's so complicated, especially between different studios and different portions of the industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just keep talking about it. No one wants to do crunch. That's something that everyone can agree on, including the people that are starting it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, every job has this. Like, my job has a 3 to 4 month period every year where I'm pulling 10 to 12-hour days.
That's true, but the goal should always be to have as little as possible, and we should always put pressure on the people who are in charge of these projects to plan better. You're not going to get everything, and that's totally understandable, but let's minimize it. This sounds like they were doing it the entire time.
So and the thing is like, I think if we're going to make something like The Last of Us 2, like a Red Dead Redemption, it's almost unavoidable. Like, it's
it's going to be unavoidable, but you got to put your workers first, the people that are actually putting a lot of hard work and care into this game. Try to keep them healthy, keep physically, mentally.
To answer Stephanie's question, we're getting there. It's going to be at the end of the show. So anyway, what ends up happening is like, I think that one thing that, and Naughty Dog says they do this, is like, we let them know, like, dude, we are going to be putting in, like, insane hours.
Yes.
And I think that would help minimize a lot of the complaints people have, because, like, it seems that a lot of these studios, it just gets sprung on them, and they're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. Well,
Sure.
you know,
Also,
uh,
just try to plan it so you don't have to spend so many insane hours.
I mean, the
It
thing
sounds
is,
like they went overboard with this.
like I think it sounds like perfectly normal for game development because,
But it
uh,
shouldn't be.
but
And again, you never know because you might not be getting the full story. That's my
no,
point. It's just
yeah,
That's
like different places not always reporting all the facts or everything about it because there's some people or some devs that you probably don't hear as much about from that say that they understand and they're okay with crunch even though it shouldn't be taken overboard. Again,
yeah.
there's two sides to this, and that's not the side that's really reported on the most from all these different places that are talking about it so
Right.
frequently.
Well, yeah. Like David Jaffe was literally the only person. He doesn't, week live stream said that like, look, if you want shit like God of War, crunch is necessary.
And I think the guys at
Like,
Rockstar at one point talked about it very briefly. But again, the way it got reported like that by like different places, I don't remember if it was Kotaku or Polygon or Way Forward, or not Way Forward, or Waypoint, that actually, put it in a way it's like, oh, they're okay with crunch. That was the headline. Like they're okay with crunch, and it gives this negative connotation to it. But again, it's not the full
I
story.
don't think anyone's okay with it. I think it's like it's just like, do you want like the polish of Red Dead Redemption 2? Yeah.
Exactly.
like, I think there's better ways to go about it, and I
Yeah.
think as long as we keep
Agreed.
talking about it, we will progressively, collectively get better at it, and that's important. I understand that that's normal right now. I think we shouldn't accept it, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy these games, and it doesn't mean that we can't keep talking about it.
Right.
Um,
And like I said, I think that if and then in some cases, if it's just the culture of the studio, it is the culture of the studio.
Also, it would have been real nice if Naughty Dog had commented with their side of the story, but maybe they're taking their time to analyze what's going on in their studio because the game's not even out yet.
Mhm.
So they're probably still trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
You never know.
So yeah. Anyway, so and who knows? Maybe we'll get the full story later. So
Jason Schreier writing his X book.
yep. All right. So questions is that we are answering from the Discord. As always, if you have questions, please comment in the chat or in the Discord. We'll be more than happy to answer them. All right. So, why did God invent nose hair, and why is it so satisfying to rip that out of your face?
What?
I
Ew.
no
Quid?
no, and also no, it's not. It hurts, and I rarely get nose hair, but still, like the one few times I've had a nose hair grow, it hurts to pull that out.
There's a reason there. There's a reason. I don't know.
Um, I'm sorry. It's a good
It's a good
pain.
pain. Okay.
What are your thoughts on games dealing with Lovecraftian, Call of Cthulhu, Sinking City, Bloodborne, etc.? I don't like most of those games except Bloodborne, but I think that's because most of those don't play well. But I think I love the idea of a Lovecraftian game.
Sure. Those themes are great.
Those are great themes, and it's good stuff. What about you?
I kind of like the frequency of Lovecraftian games, which is not too much because like I don't want it to get oversaturated, but at the same time I'd like to see that space explored more often with developers making the kinds of games that I would play.
Yeah.
So
You want to know? You want to know what's a great one is Call of Cthulhu was a very good attempt, but far from perfect. You know what's a great game? Cthulhu Saves the World.
sure,
Um,
sure.
let's see. Best horror game of the 2010s.
The 2010s, I would say I would probably have a strong case for Resident Evil 2 remake. Real talk. And then also maybe because I don't remember if it was in 2010 or after 2010. What is it? Dead Space. I think it was
Yeah.
another one.
Dead Space 2
Dead Space 1 was 08, but 2 was 2011.
Okay, so
So,
Dead Space 2.
2 is good.
uh,
Amnesia's always held at the top.
um,
Outlast. I think I was scared into not playing any more Resident Evil 7.
for me, that was Outlast, so I'll go Outlast.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Let's place 1800s. All right. Parker said. Oh, and then Question in the chat: do any of you guys know what to do after you get the Wind Marimba in Link's Awakening?
The wind, the which one?
The Wind Marimba in Link's Awakening.
Wind Marimba. Is that he's talking about the medallion? Or is he
Not
I don't
sure.
remember.
in Link's Awakening? Because like that's not. I don't know if that's the right name. Because there's medallions that are like spells that you use to access some of the temples, like that.
I don't, dude.
That's the only weird thing that I can think of.
I played the beginning of that remake, and that was just like, and then stopped. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just that I prefer 3D Zelda in most cases.
Use a guide. There's plenty of guides that tell you what to do right now that you can find online.
Yeah.
Um.
Especially for Link's Awakening. That's been out for a while.
Yeah, Quinn says World of Horror is now out of beta. Neat.
Yeah.
All right. PD York, otherwise known as Parker, says, why does every Call of Duty game have to be about Nazis? We get it. They're bad. The Russians were just bad in their own way, and so are the Chinese. But obviously, a game playing as a helpless Chinaman being slaughtered isn't going to sell, and playing as Chinese military slaughtering civilians would give the wrong message. Pause before...
I don't think that's the same case. I don't think that's always the case.
Also,
they have a variety of different things.
Yeah. Also, in a lot of Call of Duties, you fight like the terrorists and the Russians. Like the newest one was like mostly
you team up with the
terrorists.
Russians. I think in Call of Duty 4, if I'm not mistaken, you team up with some of the Russian operatives to stop the bad terrorists that are doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the new one, it's like all Middle Eastern terrorism, and then there's the ones out in space, and then there's the Call of Duty has the World War II ones. Only one game is the Pacific Theater, and that's about it.
But keep in mind that's World War II. I mean, that's right. The Nazis were the villain of that era.
Also, you know, if you want to talk about, you know, why the Nazis specifically, it's like no one likes the Nazis. Even a lot of Germans hate the Nazis, and they have their own hate symbol and this like empire-esque.
You can't even show Nazi imagery in Germany now these days because of that.
Right.
It's against the law.
They're the perfect villain.
Quinn says he demands more World War II games. Fuck Infinite Warfare.
World War I games.
Or World War I games. Sorry, my bad.
I like trenches too. Well, hey, play Death Stranding. They got a level.
Oh Lord. All right. So, but where are the Vietnam games? What about Korea? If we're gonna beat the hell out of World War II, why not include the Polish Resistance and others who haplessly rose up? I know there was Black Ops, but come on. I think doing other theaters in World War II could be really cool. I know Call of Duty. The first two of them did the Russian front and they did the Russia, UK, and the US, but you could easily do another Japanese front game. You could easily do the Polish Resistance. You do the French Resistance. There's a lot of stuff you do in World War II that I feel isn't explored. Because, I mean, killing Nazis is always a good time. It's easy. Kill Nazis, kids. It's a good message. Alright, so I want a game about Simo Haya smoking the shit out of Soviet shitbirds. So that was a thing. Like Russia invaded God, what was it? I forget which country. Quinn, help me out here. Anyway, he's this very famous sniper throughout history. He had over 100. Like Finland, thank you. He's this very famous sniper. He was like the White Death. It was a very...
That's right, yeah.
All right, so story time. The time that I
we finish off with the story?
Yeah, unless anyone else in the chat, over 500 confirmed communist killed.
Yeah, wow.
Damn. Guy was a badass.
Sniper-specific video games, 8 hours of campaign sniping.
That exists. That's that
does exist.
Right. Elite.
Quinn says he's my hero. I thought we were your hero, Quinn. Anyway,
what's the story?
So this gentleman's so the story is talked about this earlier with Stephanie. Stephanie and I went to a birthday party that we'd only be at for about 2 hours. And I went in and did 2 birthday shots with the birthday boy and went from there, and I was just going to mingle. Stephanie does like 3 or 4 shots, I believe it is, And then I'm like, you should. I'm telling the story. Go away. I'm gonna tell it right. Shush. And she ends up going and mingling with the rest of the party, and I'm like, hey, you should do more shots. You're telling it wrong. Oh my god, she's there. If you do not go away, I will not tell the story at all. I am doing the podcast. Thank you. Jesus. Okay, so long story short, I encourage her to take as many shots as possible over this hour period. She gets to 10
Okay.
in an hour and a half.
Okay.
And at first, she seems mostly fine. Obviously very drunk, but
Sure.
mostly fine. And we leave, but then we leave the hotel room because she has to work the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has to like be up for work in like 7 hours, less
Great.
even.
All good decisions so far.
And she immediately falls down on the floor the second we leave the hotel room.
Great.
Immediately, just falls down.
That's hard.
Yeah. So, and then I help pick her up, and we're walking out, and this is the same night as a Halloween bar crawl.
Great.
And I'm walking her to the car through this parking lot, and this guy goes, "Guys, it's only been an hour in," and it's fucking jackass commenting on this, of course. And we walk her over, so I help her to the car and help her into the car because she cannot walk.
Sure.
She cannot walk straight or at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get into the car, and like a quarter of the way through to driving it to my house, she's like, I have to throw up. And I'm like, not in my Charger, you ain't.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to a point and she opens up a door and pukes out of the car.
Okay.
And then we drive further down the road, and she has to throw up out of the car. But now I'm just sitting here just waiting her throw up, and I have my flashers on to let people know, hey, go around me. And then there's this cop who just sits and parks behind me.
Oh.
Because he thought that you were drunk driving. That's probably why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She has said, as she says in the chat, she has lost most of her sight.
Oh no.
And she does make sure all the puke does not end up in my car. So
well done.
Good on her for that. A+. So A+ for that. She's the true king of homies, yes. So she throws up outside the car, and like we get her, and she's like, she offers to clean. I'm just like, no, just go. Just you can clean the car in the morning, please, because she got some on the outside of the car.
Okay.
But not on the inside. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Especially because at that time I was still an Uber driver. So.
Oh God! Right.
Yeah. So we get in, and now the room is spinning. Like it is just spinning, and as a former borderline alcoholic, which I think the room starts spinning, and I teach her the trick. And this is a good trick if you're drunk, anyone, and the room is spinning. Find a point on the wall or the ceiling or something to stare at. It's basically your mind doesn't know where it is, and you just need to ground yourself.
Yep.
Like if you can find like a dot, like on the wall, like just stare at the dot. Yeah. So apparently she regains her sight enough for the next hour, but eventually we carry her to the bathroom, and because she has to throw up, and I'm like, okay, you need to actually get into bed because you have work in the morning, and she's like, she vehemently refuses because the floor is cold.
Sure.
Which, I mean, to be fair, the floor is cold.
That's truth.
You know, So I ask her if she needs water, if she needs anything, and like after all this and checking on her, she's okay. After I make sure I'm pretty sure she's not gonna die. I go to my room and I watch Iron Man and go to bed. She wakes up at like 4 a.m. to go to work, and instead of calling in like a sane person, she says she's a little sick. She's gonna be late.
Mm.
And and okay, what? Go ahead. Yeah. So, oh no, her boss makes her come in.
Oh, great. I love that. That's even better.
Which, I mean, like, if you're feeling sick, like, I love that when your boss is like, hey, you know, come in, especially for a job that's semi-physical like hers. She works in a production
Yeah, I
facility.
can't wait to hear how this goes.
Well, she ends up going to work at what, 10 a.m.? Said you can take as many bathroom breaks as possible.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Okay, so she ends up going in at 9 a.m. So she went to bed probably at 2. Was still drunk on the drive there.
Oh, man.
And works the rest of the shift.
Ugh.
So that's the time that I nearly gave Stephanie alcohol poisoning.
Jeez.
According to the chat, sounds like you did.
Yeah, I mean, if I gave her alcohol poisoning, she'd be dead. So,
Man. All right. Well, I'm glad everything worked out despite things getting bad.
quit.
Ugh.
Fuck that boss, says.
Yeah.
And I was important enough on project to risk my health. But a bit of a change of topic. Quinn says, bit of a change of topic. I just fired up Ori, and holy Christ, is this game gorgeous.
Yeah, they've been working hard on that.
Oh, Lord. Thank you for story time.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a rough night. To
Yeah,
say the least.
no kidding.
Still not as drunk as Thomas at E3 though.
Well, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that's yeah. No, I'll get him on for that. That'll be a good.
Okay.
That'll be a good week. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna give exactly 1 minute for questions and comments. Say more while we wrap it up. My boss gave me a call half an hour ago to see if I can't come in on my day off. Okay, you guys need to learn a secret. If your work calls you on your day off, don't answer.
Just be like, no.
Don't answer.
I was sleeping. It was my day off.
Yeah, let that shit go to voicemail. I used to work as a caregiver, and like they'd always want me to come in on my day off, and like I would always not pick up, not respond to the text, and the few times I did pick up, I'd be like, I don't have a car, I can't drive. I will say one time my supervisor was so desperate, being like, I will pick you up and buy you food.
Jesus Christ.
And I was just like, all right, fair offer.
Yep.
It'd be like, you better be getting me lunch and dinner. After all this.
Right.
They canceled the MLB season, but somehow they still need a shitload of security. Well, yeah, well.
Of course.
Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. Mr. James Jake Lugo, thank you for coming on, bro.
You're welcome. You got my name wrong again.
Jake James.
What the
fucking...
You, good okay,
oh my
Twitch...
God, Quinn, scold him in the
title,
chat.
my friend.
Scold him, Quinn.
The title didn't update on my side. Damn it.
How dare you, good sir.
All right, well, Mr. James.
Thank you for having me on, though. I appreciate it.
Where can our lovely fans find you?
You can find me in a bunch of different places. I'm on Twitter at JakeJames Lugo. You could go follow me on there right now. Show some love. I'm on YouTube. youtube.com/gamerswithgains channel, or you could just search Jake James Lugo in the search bar. I am also on Instagram at gamerswithgains. I post a ton of stuff there all the time. I'm also on patreon.com/Jake James Lugo. I have a bunch of exclusive content in there. Again, even at the dollar level, I give you guys exclusive podcasts, exclusive videos, exclusive early access to other videos that I post up on the YouTube channel, and a whole bunch of other great stuff. So if you guys can, go show some love, show some support, help me grow up a little bit bigger for the channel and do some even more cool stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, follow those links, everyone. As for us, we got a lot of new followers today. So here's our Discord. If you guys want to hop onto that, Mr. Lugo, if you want to hop in on that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, guys, thank you for coming out. Aaron's got his variety stream tomorrow, and then our normal schedule, which that's down below in the little the Twitch section there. And once again, thank you everyone for coming out. As always, we always say we're trying to build the best community on Twitch, and once again, you guys came out and really proved that is the case. Even if we, as I said in Lexi's chat yesterday, we are a small but mighty army.
We love you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and chatting with us and asking questions. It's always a lot of fun. It makes the podcast that much more fun and engaging. So thank you.
Absolutely. Love you guys, and you have a good rest of your week.
Laters.
See you guys.
Bye.